It's time to turn your great ideas into realities with Squarespace. That's right, Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your passion project. Whether you're showcasing your work or selling products of any kind, Squarespace has beautiful templates and the ability to customize just about anything so you can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. And if you do get stuck, Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support is there to help. Head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Is there extra bass in the headphones this week?
I don't know.
That sounded like a banger.
Thumping.
That was thumping, yes.
Yeah.
I was also thumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe just him hitting the table.
And banging.
Yeah.
Hello, this is your Giant Bombcast for Tuesday, January the 21st, 2020.
Mine.
Yours.
Just for Jeff.
Just
Ours.
for me.
No, it's theirs.
Whose? What?
The people out there.
They can have it when we're done with it.
Other people listen to this?
I don't know.
All right.
not to jump the gun on talking about video games, but going to play Doom Eternal last week, and seeing Hugo Martin, the director of Doom Eternal, was another one of those abrupt reminders that people do in fact listen to what we say.
It does happen.
When he gave you shit for
Recognized expert Brad Shoemaker.
what I said about the game at E3 last year again.
Oh, right. Yes. Again. Yes.
Did he fight you?
No.
Okay.
He's
You're like, I'm here to play Doom.
he's a great guy. I mean,
Okay.
it was all.
Well, you don't get to now.
It's all in good fun, but
Yes.
that was an awkward situation. Anyway, we'll get to that. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living.
Yeah.
Living.
Living.
Not thriving.
I tried to go to bed at 7 o'clock last night.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
That is living.
It didn't happen. I couldn't fall asleep.
Wow.
I haven't had a good night's sleep in 6 months or more.
Man, 7 o'clock, huh?
Yeah.
I guess it's dark by then.
I got into bed at 7.
Okay. That's step one.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. Even if you're not going to sleep.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good place to be.
It didn't work out quite as well. But
Do you have like a bedtime ritual? Do you have any sort of like stuff to help get you in the zone?
I drink 2 Red Bulls.
I mean, like, do you like,
okay.
do you make sure your phone isn't by your bed? Do you like, because I've been trying to sleep better lately, and I've been, okay, I'm not going to leave my phone charging literally next to my pillow. Or like, okay, I'm going to, not make sure I'm not on my computer for at least a half hour before I'm going to go to sleep, any of that stuff.
I know. I typically don't need anything like that.
Yeah.
Especially these days, like since we had the baby.
Right.
My wife and I
sleep
just
with your body
we exist
falls apart.
Yeah, we exist in like a perpetual state of tiredness now.
a liminal state.
Yeah. So it's just like, fuck, I gotta lay down. But then last night I tried that and I couldn't actually sleep. No, all of our rituals and schedules and all this other stuff right now are based around the baby. So like
Man, how selfish.
I know
That baby needs to
start pulling her weight around the house.
Yeah,
Honestly,
seriously.
Like I'm
be a
taking out
team
the
player,
garbage.
baby.
Sell some ads.
Yeah. Yes. No, she got some ads sold. I think her ads we're gonna get them playing around the early February
Okay.
mark.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll go down at like 5, and then it's like kind of like quiet time around the house. And then I usually go to bed around 10 these days, which is when the baby wakes up for the first time. So my wife wakes up, feeds the baby around 10, and then I go to bed. And then that repeats. These days, like 5 hours later, like we're usually getting like that 5 to 10, and then we get another 5 hours or so, 4 to 5 before she needs to be fed again.
If you start going to bed at 5.
Yeah. Well,
Then you can get 2 of those 5-hour blocks.
Yeah. So
And then you just start getting up.
So my wife goes to bed around 7 or so.
Okay.
And
Of course, then you'd be getting up at what, 3 every day?
that's sometimes that happens with or without the sleep on the front end. Honestly, like so the baby sleeps for that 5-hour chunk, 5-ish, 4 to 5. Then we get another 4 to 5, and then we get about 3 or so. And sometimes she just stays awake after that. And depending on how those other feedings have gone, sometimes that last wake up time is like 6, which is acceptable but not perfect.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then sometimes it's at 4.
Oof.
Less good.
Or if in a particularly crazy situation, that might be like 3:30. And then she's just like, I'm awake.
This baby's ready to party.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like she's fucking down to get down.
I've also been waking up every night at approximately 3:30 to cough 20 to 30 times and then go immediately back to sleep.
Great.
It's great. It's really, it helps with the REM.
Hack it up.
Just, oh boy.
You just stand in the place where you live
Yeah,
Clear out the airways.
if you want to get that going.
I do. I try to lie down in the place that I live.
Okay,
It's
you should
so late.
Now face north and then cough 10 times.
Which way's north?
Think about direction and then, just look. There's a whole thing.
Wonder what's... I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost had it.
Imitation of life.
Yeah, it's
Sounds like a time.
a time. Yeah. I lost my train of thought there. That's how it's going. How's it going? I started talking and was just like, what?
I slept on the couch last night because we changed the sheets yesterday. And then I was like, I need a shower before, like in the evening time.
Oh, you don't want to like filth up the sheets?
Right.
And
then the evening came and I was like, man, I'm so tired.
Okay.
I don't care enough to take a shower right now.
Yeah.
But I could not befoul the clean sheets.
What if you put on clean clothes?
Nope, not enough.
No?
What?
Definitely not.
I feel like sheets exist to be befouled. And
Keep them clean as long as possible.
yeah.
On the day of the changing, you can't.
Depends what time of day you change them. If you change them in the morning, there's plenty of time to like refilth up. Change them at night, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's and then I took our cat to the emergency room.
Yikes.
That was a fun time. Turned out I probably didn't need to do that. But so if you remember on UPF I was talking about murdering ants.
Yes.
We have been primarily deploying cinnamon oil
Cinnamon oil?
as a deterrent, sprinkling it around.
Okay, I got to look that
It's a
up.
deterrent, right? It's like warning shots.
It doesn't necessarily kill the ants.
No, they just don't like it. They
just
won't
like
cross. It messes with their scent trails
Yeah,
or whatever.
so, like-
I'm saying like you could escalate things, but you're choosing to.
Wow.
I very much want to escalate.
Here is a bottle of cinnamon oil on Olive Nation that costs over $1,600.
Yeah, we got 2 of those, and it's great.
We would just use real straight up kitchen cinnamon. We just sprinkled it around in the corners.
We
and
tried that, and then it just led to just there being weird powder everywhere. And that was a nightmare in its own way. So it was way harder to clean
French
up.
toast a lot harder.
Yeah,
Stuff. It does work
definitely.
though. Like it does contain them. They won't.
Yes, yeah, it will keep them away. So one of the spots where we were getting ants was in the shower. So we would sprinkle some cinnamon oil in the bottom of the shower.
Oh, that's just gonna help you smell better.
Well, yeah, the cat likes to get in the shower and lap up some shower water, stuff like that. Cinnamon oil and other essential oils are apparently very bad for cats.
That water is not potable, cat.
Yeah, and when you read on the internet about those sorts of oils, it's very much like, that cat might die. And I was like, fuck. So that was like last Thursday that the cat got in there and milled around in there and then was walking funny. My wife noticed that, washed the cat's feet and then we didn't think of it until I guess it would have been Saturday. Woke up and found what appeared to be small puddles of pinkish, perhaps bloody vomit around the house in a few different spots. And I was like, okay, what's up with this? And started thinking back to the cinnamon oil and go like, fuck. and then you look that up online and it's like double fuck. Like, hey, this might just be like, you need to get to this earlier. It might be bad. And I'm sitting there looking at the cat and thinking like, can we hold off and take her to her regular vet on Monday?
Turns out looking up symptoms for your cat just as bad as looking at symptoms for yourself.
Yes, or a baby.
Oh God. Well, yeah. Oh jeez.
Yeah. Yes. So it ended up. I ended up looking at her long enough. I was like, she hasn't really eaten today. She's not eating. She seems a little off. And then again with wherever these puddles came from. So I threw her in the box, took her to the emergency room, and they were like, oh, well, normally this is only emergency for the first 4 hours. Like, they were way more nonchalant about it than the entirety of the internet.
They've seen a lot.
Yeah, they have.
I would guess.
And then they gave me a bunch of shit for other stuff, and then pumped a bunch of water. Is it they
Why is
basically
this cool ass shaved into your cat's stomach?
there's an explanation for that.
Running some tests.
So we just sometimes shave the cat ourselves. We don't take her to be groomed.
This is a real. This is not a bit.
It's not a cool S, but like it's way worse. Like it's like half of her. It's very punk rock. She just had a bunch of mats in her. She's getting a little older. She's not, able to clean herself. She's diabetic. It's a complicated case. And with the baby, we aren't necessarily able to take the cat out to get groomed professionally as often as we maybe used to. So it's been some quick shave jobs here and there. So it's like, not only am I bringing this cat in and describing these, like, well, sometimes she gets seizures. We give her seizure medication for that, and I can't remember the name of it here. Anyway, she's diabetic, and we give her this for this and this for this, and then they've got a bunch of questions. And then on top of that, she looks like half shaved like crazy. And I'm just going like,
they're like, you sure you didn't just grab this cat like from the street?
Look, no, I'm not, honestly. But anyway, the cat was fine. $400 later.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's funny how quickly you can adjust to that sort of stuff though. Like we've had our dog for about 6 months now, and she has a problem with her trachea. She's got a very narrow trachea, which apparently is common in small dogs, but that leads to the problem where she will drink so much water and not be able to swallow it all that she'll immediately just start throwing it up. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things where, as a new pet owner, like something like that happens for the first time, and you just freak out. You're like, oh my god, we have to take her to the vet.
Yeah.
We have to, and then like literally the other day, me and my partner were just sitting there on the couch watching her like drink water, throw up, drink water, throw up, just being like, how many times are you going to do this to yourself, you stupid idiot?
Figure it out.
Come on, it's water.
Get it together, dog. Yeah, it's the kitten that used to just drink a ton of water and then as quickly as possible and then go for a while. It was a extreme pain in the ass, but hey, there was a Carl's Jr. near that place.
Hey, what you get?
I got their fake meat thing.
Everything turned out.
I got the Impossible. What do they know? They have Beyond. Burger King has the Impossible. So
yeah,
it's fine.
Was it just like a standard? What's their burger called? Not a Whopper.
$6
Famous
burger.
Star, I think, is where they're
Still do the
that
$6
one.
I don't know.
Cowboy burger.
I think they just call those the thick burger now.
Do they still commingle the Hardee's and Carl's Jr. menus out here, or how does that work?
I'm not sure.
I've seen
the
green
menu's
burritos.
actually different. Yeah, you get
attached.
a green burrito because it's just Hardee's, like east of the Rockies or something like that, right?
I don't know. I mean, Hardee's was a independent. Hardee's was the thing where I grew up.
Huh.
Like that was as prominent as McDonald's.
Wow.
In the South where I grew up.
Never seen a Hardee's.
But then Carl's Jr. bought them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that. Did they have the Frisco burger out here? Did they ever have that?
That sounds
Or was
right.
or was that so locally offensive that they just didn't even try?
Yeah.
What was on the Frisco burger?
It's so good. It was two
avocado.
No. It was 2 slices of. I should look it up. It was 2 slices of grilled sourdough.
Okay.
With patties, Swiss cheese, bacon. There might have been sautéed mushrooms on there and onions, maybe.
Sounds like here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. It was very good and very bad for you.
Sure. Well, yeah. The food was not great, but the fake meat stuff's fine. I don't know.
Yeah. They have there's a Impossible Pork is on the way.
Yeah.
Announced at CES, of course.
Whoa.
Yes, the most consumable of consumer electronics.
Yes.
I guess the issue there is like that stuff's not necessarily, unless you subscribe to the theory that A, meat is murder, or B, meat is murdering you. Like that's not like that stuff is like diet food or anything.
It's not,
it's not like
metaphorically.
or
I'm sure
like
some
hey,
of it
here's
is
some extra salt in it to
well,
hide.
yeah, I mean, I think some of it is about how it's prepared.
Right.
Obviously.
Sure.
Like if you're going to get it in fast food burger form,
I find it fun whenever you have people that go vegan or even vegetarian and don't adjust to the actual ways they're eating. They just think that that's enough. It's like, well, I'm just going to eat this instead. It's like, okay, that's cool for whatever reason, but if you're still taking in 3,500 calories a day and sitting around playing World of Warcraft, it's not going to work out in your favor. Like it's still, that's still not, that equation still doesn't work.
Yeah, I had a friend that went vegan for a little bit, and all he ate for a good 2-3 days was like vegan donuts.
Okay.
And I was like, buddy, your sugar intake just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
He's like, no, bro, it's vegan.
Yeah.
I'm just eating donuts all day. It's great.
It's plants.
This logic
It's
is
just a plant,
unassailable.
man.
He never counted calories, so.
Yeah.
If I want to eat some fake meat, where should I go? Like, there's a Burger King near me. Is that a good? Like, should I get the Impossible Whopper?
yeah.
I've heard the
That's-
Impossible Whopper's good.
Okay. Maybe I kind of want to try it.
The Del Taco fake stuff is pretty good from the limited
I'd say
time.
the
I've had
Carl's
it.
Jr. thing is basically on par with.
there
I prefer a Whopper to anything Carl's Jr.
mean,
says.
I don't think
but
there are any Carl's Jr. in the city.
there might not be.
No, I don't think so. The real answer is go buy a uncooked Impossible
Just go
Burger
get it at the grocery store
and make it yourself
Oh, right,
because they
probably.
tend to like overcook those. I've found.
You want a rare Impossible Burger.
Right, you want to see it not bleed.
Okay.
You wanna
Yeah.
see that fake blood coming out. Yeah. Video games?
Oh, I don't know.
Why don't we talk about this?
What is that?
Man, I went and played like 3 hours of Doom Eternal
Yeah,
last week. We
fucking
should
A, you
probably talk
did.
about that
All right.
on this video game podcast.
Do they
Ask me anything.
still shoot the devil?
Uh-huh.
Can you shoot the devil?
I didn't
What's
see
the
I didn't-
person's name?
Can you shout at the devil?
I didn't see the devil. Vince Neil was not in attendance.
Okay.
Did you see the details?
Maybe a few of them.
Well, you got to look closer next time because that's where the devil likes to hide.
There were devils, but not the devil,
Sure.
as far as I saw.
What's the scariest enemy you fought in Doom Eternal?
The Doom guy. Me.
What?
I'm the scariest.
You're your own worst enemy.
Is there a Goom guy, like a Gooigi Doom guy who will hang out
sadly,
Yeah.
sadly, no.
made out of ectoplasm and coffee?
I feel like you got to save something for Doom 3.
Sure. Yeah.
Right,
Doom
grappling
Guy's
hook in
Mansion
2,
3. Yeah.
Goo Man in 3.
Yeah.
We're in the dark middle chapter, so no jovial goo companions
Right.
this time. That'll be for the eventual conclusion to the trilogy.
Yeah, so that game seemed cool at E3. It seemed like
Yeah.
the stuff they were putting in there with the little flamethrower.
Yeah, they're adding a lot.
like that sort of stuff. Like
Yes.
To me, the thing that stood out was the kill this way to get more of like the resource management.
Yeah, they've
aspect
added more of
murder.
that. So we did a video preview. It's up on the site now. If you want to see some actual footage of me playing it,
I've already seen it.
Yes, you saw it.
I haven't seen
You
it.
should check it out.
I went to
giantbomb.com.
I put some more tags in the description for the video, but I didn't watch it. I hope that's okay.
You know what? If you liked that last game and you want to play the new one, you're probably fine to just
All right.
hold off.
Well, let's see you guys.
Okay.
All right.
Bye,
When's
Ben.
it come out?
March.
I'll see you in March.
Late March.
Wait.
It's the only game coming out this
Working on
spring.
the video bit, Jan.
No, don't worry. There's a video bit.
So they had to start from the beginning of the game. It was a full build of the game, and like amazingly, they were just like, "Hey, yeah, you've got like 3 hours. Just start and play."
So how does that game open? Like,
as long as you
what
want.
is the story set up there?
So yeah, the story is kind of the one thing we didn't really get into in that video.
Yeah.
It was a lot more kind of gameplay focused. So Earth has been invaded.
Okay. Hell on the Earth.
Much of Earth is hellified,
Okay.
which is the technical term
yeah.
for areas of the Earth that have been
That have
taken
been
over by
hellified.
demons.
What is the hellification
Hellified
process?
Dallas.
Oh,
I mean, like, what is, so it's like stuff gets more red?
that yes, you definitely can see a bunch of there's a
Precisely.
I didn't think about this. So like the game, I feel like broadly plays it pretty straight this time.
Okay.
And you kind of have to really sort of like squint and look for the absurdity, but it is there.
There's no
just-
Samuel Hayden
Not yet.
right out the gate.
Not quite. Well, that that was a fairly subtle example of stupid shit. And like kind of that's one of the things that defines the 2016 Doom to me is that it's gleefully full of stupid shit and,
Yeah.
and knows it.
Yeah.
And
But I feel like that stuff, it didn't hit you over the head with it
No,
either.
No, it wasn't like, hey, isn't this
Yeah.
weird? It was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
fun and
there was
weird.
there was definitely just this like swaggering irreverence to the way it presented itself, especially with the way your character acted toward the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which was to just basically say fuck off.
Just punch every
Yes,
computer.
Yeah.
yes. Like the entire attitude of that game is embodied in the intro when he punches the computer that his mission objectives are coming out of. So like the broad setup here seems a little more serious. Like
look,
but
parts of the Earth have been hellified.
the thing I was
a far more serious.
The thing I was
situation.
going to say was when you asked like, are parts of the Earth red? Like, yes, you straight up can see like a giant pentagram from space on the side of the Earth or something like that.
That's serious,
like there are
Brad.
straight up like demon glyphs visible from orbit where you are because you have a ship/castle, which is your home base that orbits the Earth called the Fortress of Doom.
Oh, okay.
So you hang out, you hang out in a space castle between
way more
missions.
serious. I got it.
So there is that. But like, I mean, there's some shit about like there are 3 hell priests that you have to track down and kill because they're
Hell priest.
conducting some ritual and something.
They're doing hell mass.
Yeah. Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to drink, I don't know, Mad Dog instead of wine, and the wafers are, I don't know, what's something hellish.
Saltines.
Saltines.
Come on. Saltines are good.
Ritz crackers, unsalted.
Ah, you demon.
God, what's new? So,
Is there a level set in the heavy metal parking lot?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. That's
Like
that's pretty hellified.
You warp to all your levels, from what I can tell. Like, you go back to that castle, and you have like a terminal where you pick your mission, and like it opens a portal, and you just zip over there. So they could have you go wherever.
Okay.
Like they could. I don't know.
Are there actual? Okay, so it's on Earth, but is it like identifiable as like, whoa, I'm in,
No, not
France?
Well, like
Hell,
so, like
France.
it opens in a city on Earth that is just super hellified. Like it's just full of demons and fire and shit.
But there's not like landmarks
There actually,
everywhere.
there is a broadcast during the intro that says like, hey, like every nation state on Earth has collapsed. Like there is no anything left. There's no structure left to civilization.
Right.
There's just
But there
a
are
band
like people.
yeah.
Still?
There's a band of survivors that are trying to pull it together, but like it's a bad scene down there. But like, no, it's not like you're on the demonic Eiffel Tower necessarily.
Like level 3 is Australia.
I mean, that would be great. I hope maybe they do some shit like that. But like the first part of the game was just sort of generic demonic city.
Okay.
Then you go to hell.
Yeah.
Then I went to like a wintry, like they're like, oh, your next objective is in the northern area
Hell
of the
froze
Earth.
over.
Right. Right. So it's just like, here's a facility with snow.
Okay.
So I don't know where it goes from there. I mean, they're of course they are, but they're talking a big game about like, oh, there's way more just area in this game than there was in the last one. Like you go to a lot more places. There's more stuff in here.
How does it feel in terms of just like the level design? Does it feel pretty similar in terms of scope? Like it's not like an open world game. You know, it's not Youngblood. It's not Wolf. It's not Youngblood.
It is definitely still mostly linear.
Okay.
With like secrets off to the side. There's still a fair amount of secrets to discover that seem like a lot of that will feed into upgrade systems. Some of it is just sort of for fun.
Yeah.
But very much like you got the same style of map, and you can pretty much see that like the path through a level is more or less predefined. So it's kind of like that. I opted to start that video we put together with footage of the platforming in the game, which in my mind was just like, okay, they're going to see platforming-ish stuff later. Let's just get that set up at the beginning, that this stuff is in there, that this is an aspect of the game. I should have realized in retrospect that people were going to like the takeaway from seeing that first was going to be a bunch of people going like fuck first person platforming. Fuck this. Fuck Doom. And like that's not what I wanted to that's not the message I was trying to send with that stuff.
But it is a
it is a component of the game for sure. But again, I made the point toward the end of the video that like what was that 3-4 minutes of platforming footage or something? Like that's pretty much all I captured in like 90 minutes of capturing.
Yeah.
Like it's not that much. It's not like you're fucking air dashing through electric gates.
So it wasn't enough constantly. It wasn't enough back at E3 for you to be worried about Doom. You now have to like construct the videos in such a way to fit the narrative. I see how you people do it.
Yeah.
I know how this works.
I mean, it's it's there, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
not. It's not a huge.
And it was in the time I spent playing that game at E3. It was like maybe the one part of the game I was like, I don't know how this is going to play out with the platforming stuff because it kind of depends on how much of it there is.
Yeah.
Right. In limited quantities, it can be manageable.
I mean,
well, it fits and starts. It's like kind of
and it
fun.
like breaks up the fast-paced action.
Yeah,
cycle.
yes. Like I think I said that in the video. It's just like it's a different kind of like action challenge to undertake occasionally than shooting stuff, which is kind of a nice change of pace.
Yeah, but I think if that stuff is layered on too thick, I think it's well done for what it is. At least from the chunk I played. But if there was a ton of it,
Right.
That seems like something that could be kind of off.
You don't want it to get to a point where you're dying over and over again in platforming on a Doom game.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like that's one of the least
which happened to me playing that demo. It was like, okay, I'm trying to reach out for this wall and grab it and get to this place.
So you don't die like if you miss a jump and fall in like the bottomless pit. You just immediately spawn back at the last thing you were standing on. So that's not a problem.
Like 5 health or something like that. I forget.
I don't know. You might, but
I never fell. They actually awarded me a medal for being the best gamer they've ever seen play their video game, and I have to do it last Starfighter. I have to go fight the actual Doom Wars after this.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought you were too tall to fit in the armor. But
no, it's scaled up because
that's
Doom
great.
Guy's a big guy.
Okay.
Doom Guy's a big guy.
Doom Guy's a big guy.
Doom Guy's a big. Who do you think's bigger, Doom Guy or Master Chief?
Master Chief.
big, like physically bigger.
Yeah,
Master Chief. You're probably right.
probably.
I feel like we know the height of Master Chief through the lore. I don't know.
But I mean, the suit probably adds a few inches.
I'm considering the suit to be like he doesn't come out of the suit anymore.
This will be important later.
Unlike Master Chief, the Doom Guy regularly takes his helmet off.
That's
also,
true.
unlike the Master Chief, Doom Guy has hair. I can
What?
say from watching the intro of this game, he's got hair.
How much does he look like he is
you don't really
blood related to BJ Blazkowicz?
You don't really see his face. It's mostly shot from behind. Kind of see the back of his head.
You see like a flicker of his reflection, right? In 2016 Doom.
You see a little more of his like eyes through the visor in this and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a human in there, but like, I mean, the one place that all the aerial mobility stuff really supports like what the heart of the game is in the combat. Obviously, you know, like a lot of the combat spaces have like there's the little kind of vault bars that you can grab and sort of swing and jump off of, and some stuff like that. Like you can kind of get around those arenas a little more. Yeah, which like the air dash and stuff like that certainly comes in handy for just kiting enemies around. And
it's practically an anime fighting game. I mean, you can do like two air dashes.
Like I had kind of thought there's a little bit of a Devil May Cry-ish sort of vibe to this stuff in the way that you've got so many different combat moves and options and mobility and all this stuff, and it's just like here's a giant kind of combat sandbox full of enemies for you to puzzle your way through. I think they're using the phrase combat puzzle to describe the game, so like it is that kind of thing. But yeah, like there's like the chainsaw's back to get ammo. Now you've got a flamethrower, so that if you set guys on fire and then kill them, they drop a bunch of armor.
Right.
Obviously the glory kills give you health, so there's like another step on that leapfrog.
And there's the blood punch or whatever, like a melee punch that like I think that pops health off too, right?
It might. Like that's kind of a weird one. I didn't use it as much as I would have thought. It's basically like it just sort of supercharges your regular melee and kind of does a giant AoE. You can kind of kill a bunch of small guys with a single punch when it's charged up, but I kind of kept forgetting I had it. Yeah. There's not much of a visual effect on it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that one pops off more health when you use it.
That might be right. You've also got that grenade launcher on your shoulder. And then you get different, like I start with just a regular grenade, but I got an ice grenade that you can toggle to after a couple hours. So you can like freeze guys with it. Like there's a ton of like the toolbox, I guess. It's like full of stuff in this. Like every weapon has 2 mods, and each one of those mods has its own skill tree. Yeah. There's a lot of shit to customize and like kind of build / loadout stuff to tweak. Cool.
And they didn't really talk too much about the multiplayer stuff, right?
No, they weren't showing that. Yeah, it was just campaign pretty much.
That's that asynchronous invasion.
Well,
thing,
so there's
right?
I think the actual the active multiplayer is called battle mode.
Okay.
And that's I think it's like, what is it? It's like one player deploys demons. And it's almost like a strategy thing. And the other players are fighting through that, I guess. I don't know.
think so.
They weren't running that there.
Okay.
But there's also some like passive, almost Dark Souls-ish stuff of like, I had a like a heavy enemy pop up at one point that had like a player name over its head.
Oh, you can like invade?
No. It was like this enemy killed a player in their campaign.
Oh.
And now it's like super powerful, and if you kill it, it drops extra stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
Stuff like that. So that's kind of neat.
That is neat.
Yeah, and I like that weak point stuff. We showed that off in the video. Most of the heavy enemies have at least like one.
Like you shoot the weapons off.
Yeah,
of
it's
them
not it's not a Contra like glowing extra damage spot. It's more of a Horizon Zero Dawn like you can blow this weapon off of this enemy and it prevents that enemy from using that attack. Yeah, and that stuff's cool.
And then they have to change tactics to like, I can't. You blew up my gun. I guess I have to come over there and try and punch you.
Yes, like this enemy is now a melee enemy because you shot its guns off. Like that stuff's pretty cool. So it plays really well. I am unsurprisingly super looking forward to playing Doom Eternal.
Yeah, for sure. It's also the only game shipping this year.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Pretty exciting.
Every other game is delayed 2021 now. Yeah, they've got a lot of room to themselves.
See, they got their delay out early. Yes. Delay into 2020 instead of out of 20. Yeah.
That's right. Should we talk about that Dragon Ball game?
Yeah, I've played some Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Kakarot. It's I don't think it's very good.
Who or what is a Kakarot?
This Goku.
That's Goku.
That's Goku's given name. It's like Goku's just Superman.
Kal-El.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
All right. Enough said.
Goku he's literally just
It's
Superman.
literally just Superman.
Yeah. So it's a role-playing game that retells the events of Dragon Ball Z.
I don't think role-playing game is what I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean it's like you get jumped by enemies and it goes into a full-on combat mode and then you fight and then you pop out of it.
Is it turn-based?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's more like the active battle.
You just mash out
Kind of,
the attack buttons. It's not even there's no
It's not like not like Final Fantasy 15.
there's no meters. You're just you close the gap, you do the attacks.
Is it
like you
sort of like XP and leveling though?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of leveling different things.
skill trees and weird community board stuff where you plop down icons. Let's not get mired in that. There are systems. Some of those systems I feel like are just there as they almost feel like they're just there as busy work to help justify it as a role playing game instead of just a bad action game. Instead, it's just kind of a overwrought or kind of dull RPG. This game does the thing that a lot of bad games do, where they make you win a fight and then lose in the following cutscene.
This is the worst thing you told me about this game. Like
the story mode in a wrestling game, or the story mode in almost every anime game that's ever happened.
Like a lot of JRPGs of that era of the early to mid 2000s loved that trick, and like once in a while it can be used effectively where you can kind of rig the fight so it's close, and then but like you can't win or something. There are ways
like you're
to
literally
use that
draining
once in
a life meter and it's saying finish the same way it would in any fight. And you're getting I got an S rank. I got this XP for winning this battle. Oh wait, Raditz is A, not dead, and B, kicking my ass.
And since you've watched the show now, you know, like, okay, well, I'm not going to win this fight.
Fucking weird being able to dislike this game on like a totally different level than I would have previously. And be like almost indignant about it. What the it's there are cool moments that happen over the course of that story, and a lot of that, like enough of that, even in the 5-6 hours I played of it, happened in cutscenes that I was just like, man, what the fuck? And the winning a fight only to lose it in the cutscene stuff, like it tells a tale of, man, if you really wanted to, I feel like there's a way to craft that gameplay in a way that supports the needs of the story. Yeah. Because the Dragon Ball Z story is the Dragon Ball Z story.
Yeah. Sure.
Like, the developers went in knowing what the Raditz fight was like.
Yes.
They go in knowing that, like, oh, well, yeah, you're going to fight Nappa, and then Chaozu's going to do this and blow up. Like, they go in knowing exactly who's going to lose, who's going to die, all this other stuff. And I'm willing to bet that the overwhelming majority of people playing the game also know a lot of those story beats.
Yeah.
So it's just like everyone just kind of looking at each other and going like, huh? And then the gameplay is just fucking the most basic thing they could have done.
Yeah.
Like instead of like having any craft to it, to like, oh, well, we found a way to make this fight feel impactful, even though you technically have to lose it along these like first couple of stages. Like, have it be one longer sequence instead of just like ending the fight. You get the XP, it punches you out of it into a cutscene, right back into the same fight with the same character. Do it again, and then lose again, and then in the third, and then have him die in a cutscene.
Yeah.
And then have that character die in a cutscene, have Piccolo blow up the moon in a cutscene, like all this shit that would be like cool for you to be able to do.
Yeah.
Like the fan servicey stuff should be interactive. Right?
I was just about to ask, how do you feel about the suggestion of our mutual friend that this should have just been Asura's Wrath, but Dragon Ball?
I think that
because that's kind of what you're describing. Is that's a bunch of interactive cutscenes?
Yeah,
where you're blowing up the moon and shit.
Yes. If you gave players control over the actual cool shit of Dragon Ball more frequently than they've done here, then I think that would go a long way. But like more importantly, like when you're not in those fights, like those fights are what they are, whatever. But when you're just like traversing the world, it's just this very large, mostly empty area with some very basic enemies to fight, like leftover like skull robots, like Red Ribbon Army guys or whatever. You just fodder enemies. You just punch your way through and you're done. And it's just them over and over again. It's crazy. You just have these open zones that have these floating orbs everywhere, and you're just like floating around collecting these orbs because they're the upgrade currency for your skill tree. And they have rings of the orbs, and they have different sizes. There'll be like small rings of orbs, big rings of orbs. You have a certain pickup radius for the orbs. The small rings, if you fly through the center, that's close enough to you get them all. The big rings, no. So it's like you have to stop. If you want to get all the orbs, which you don't because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you did, you have to stop.
But I do, because
I need to be on the left side of the ring to get these ones. Now I need to just stop and fly over here. It's just crazy. It's just like, why would
added busy work?
Yeah, why would you make this way?
This really makes me wonder if, like, so there's a lot of reports that the Dragon Ball Z's parent company, like their holding company, whatever, is very protective over the IP, right? Like they do not want to take a lot of risks. So I wonder if this is just a case of like, hey, these sell decently enough every time we do them, so we don't really need to put the resources in. Like
the thing is, it really is like wrestling.
Well, yeah, but like the thing you look at with it though is, it really does at times look like they wanted to make the thing. It feels like they spent their resources on the wrong stuff, or they just played it too safe on the things that I think would have made it a better game.
Wrong stuff being some of that like ancillary, like community board stuff.
Some of the community board stuff, or like the size of the zones, or
sure.
just like, the tightness of the combat. Like some of those things could have been, or whatever. The combat should have been better. But like the zone size like doesn't actually make sense for the for what little content there is to do at any given time. You'll have like 2 submissions and a main mission, maybe, depending on where you're at in the story. And to be fair, like maybe there's points later on where it opens up big time and you've got a ton of stuff. But even then, like even when you're blasting around those zones flying as fast as you can, it's still too slow. And you just look at it and go like, this didn't need to be an open world at all, really. For the way that story works, for all that sort of stuff, like that stuff feels kind of wasted, because you end up with a side mission where you land and you're like, oh, here's this like Frankenstein's monster looking android dude from original Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I love that
I'm
guy.
gonna do one side quest for him, even though he's not normally in this part of this story. But hey, from getting to point A to point B, I'm gonna stop and do this.
And like if they're willing to do little fan servicey things like that aren't canon, you'd think like maybe they could kind of ratchet that up a little bit with the mainline stuff.
Sure. Yeah. The mainline stuff just feels very bland. And stuff that like, in some cases I felt like they were focusing on the stuff that, or not focusing on things I wanted to see more of, like, Goku on the Snake Way, stuff like that, where you're like, oh, there could be like weird gameplay here. And maybe on the way back, maybe on his way back, maybe there is something there. My understanding is that they do the driver's license stuff.
Okay,
but I saw only from Goku's point of view.
Yeah,
apparently.
What?
Piccolo doesn't get his license.
What about the post boy?
I don't believe so.
Damn.
So it's like they're trying to do that stuff, but at this point they've retold this story in video game form dozens of times.
Yes.
And this was one that they were trying to position as like, hey, we're going to the next level with
Goku's
this stuff.
adventure is finally being told the way it's meant to be told in video games.
Yeah, like kind of they positioned this as something more than the shit that they've been doing. And it's on the other side of Dragon Ball FighterZ, where you look at it and go like, oh, if there was ever a time to make a good Dragon Ball video game, it would be on the heels of a great Dragon Ball fighting game.
Totally. And like the Super Super went strong. Like the move Dragon Ball Broly was like a huge hit. Like there's a lot of Dragon Ball interest out there right now, and it seems like they are not capitalizing it on a way that they could be.
Yeah, there's like aspects of it that look nice, and there's like little bits and pieces around the edges where you go like, oh, to level up the adult community board, I have to find porno magazines and give them to Master Roshi.
Okay, yeah. I only have one question.
Okay.
Can I confirm that the certain introduction for a particular samurai that you posted to Twitter was undoctored?
No, that's very much doctored.
Okay. I was eyeballing it. I was like, man, did he really get in there and do that? Or
hey, man. content aware Phil will knock some shit out.
Or is that just where we're at as a community in 2020, that this is where video game publishers are going now?
Yeah, right.
Because I was like, there is a non-zero chance that they are actually...
If they had literally called Yajirobe the ass-eating samurai when he was introduced in this game, the tone of this whole conversation would be different.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
We would be having Game of the Year deliberations right now.
Exactly.
Calling it.
Yes. Yeah, it's it looks nice in spots, and
How's the music?
it's the music.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the music.
Yeah.
But like, what about like overworld? Any like original interesting stuff there?
So I don't know. Nothing that really jumped out.
Okay.
It's having watched Kai, I disagree with the theme song.
Sure.
All this like chala head chala, like that stuff sucks. It's terrible.
No,
like people are fucking wrong.
No.
It's terrible.
It's fun. Since it's a JRPG, we have to ask, how's the fishing?
So far, the only fishing I've seen has been in the tutorial.
Do you use your tail to fish?
Yep.
Well, so like Goku pulls out like Bulma made me a tail, and then he snaps it on and then fishes to show Gohan how to fish.
Cool.
Because Gohan still has a tail at this point.
Right.
So you know what they say, give Gohan a fish. Teach Gohan to fish.
Yeah, so you teach Gohan how to fish. It's in the pacing of it in the cutscenes is really bad. I think that's actually maybe the most damning thing about it is that it's like, hey, they get all these voice actors back together again and do this stuff, and
Chris Bot.
yes, they get him and to do does them all. I guess
that's the one name I know.
The three people that do all the voices in Dragon Ball.
Yeah. That one lady who does all the Gokus.
And the pacing on all those cutscenes, the line to line, like the wait between lines is just unnatural sounding,
and a lot of it's not even
also a lot
voiced.
of the game's not voiced. Yes, a lot of the game is you get a lot of lines of dialogue that are just like,
wow,
yeah, hey, yeah, they did a lot of generic,
short little reusable.
Yeah, totally.
Give me like 15 affirmative reactions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. What? Yeah. It's not great. And seeing, seeing stuff, I don't know that I buy this. I guess it's possible. Anything's possible, right? But seeing word like, oh, well, if you want to do everything, we think it'll take players 100 hours. I was like, fucking no thanks. Like, no part of this game is actually fun other than looking at it and going like, Dragon Ball, huh? Like, you should just watch Dragon Ball Z. You should just watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
That is pretty fun.
It'll take longer.
Sure.
Than the 100 hours, I assume. Well, if you watch Kai, that's less. That's less.
That's definitely less.
Under
than
100 hours.
Yeah.
Watch Dragon Ball Z Kai.
I've seen a lot of people compare this to the GBA games, Legacy of Goku.
Mm-hmm. People liked those.
People really like those.
Yeah.
I think I played the second one, and that was pretty neat. I don't know. It's just the collecting all the orbs and like the broken up pacing that just kind of breaks this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like the awkward choices of what you can play versus what you can't play.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have loved to blow up the moon.
Yeah.
Snake Way, great.
Yeah.
And I don't know and we spent like an hour just getting to Nappa and Vegeta. I can't imagine
From like the end of Gohan's training, like from the like starting in the 1 year, like post Raditz stuff. Yeah.
I can't imagine how the pacing will be, or like how they'll gatekeep everything until you get to the very end of the game, which is like all the way to Boo, right?
Right. Yeah. There's trophies in there for finishing out the Boo saga, and you think about how some of those fights went, and how many different people had to fight Boo.
Yeah.
Like you think about how many of those fights will probably just be like, all right, now fight him here as this character,
Majin Vegeta,
win the fight, but the cutscene will still continue, and then now do it all over again with this character.
It's like the opposite. Like Cell Tournament seems exactly like a video game. It's like a series of fights.
Exactly.
And then it goes into just like such a mess of people everywhere and multiple boos and all that.
And that stuff's like, I think, fun as a story, but but I think rendering it as a video game, I feel like rendering that in a way that makes sense or makes for like a good video game, I think takes more imagination than what they've shown so far. like right out of the gate with that stuff. You get to your first big storyline fight and watch what they do. You just go like, okay, if this is what this game is, I'm already out.
Yeah. I think the neat thing they do in combat is just the tagging in your
support,
your companions, the support stuff.
Party, yeah.
Yeah, but even that doesn't fit in with like the mythos of Dragon Ball of a lot of it being one-on-one fights.
Yeah, it's not.
And like even in that quick look, when you were summoning like Krillin to just do a solar flare, like sometimes it'd be voiced, sometimes it wouldn't be voiced.
Yeah,
because he was in the middle of another line. I don't know. It's a lot of odd choices.
Yeah, totally. It seems like something that should have been better.
Yeah,
but also I feel like there's probably been people other than me saying that about every Dragon Ball game for the past 2 decades or more.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, man, this it's surprising. So no one's made a good video game out of this stuff yet.
You've joined a long-standing and passionate community.
It's disgusting.
A fraternity of people.
It feels so gross. Well, but whatever. Like I always disliked those games. I just feel like now I have like a more of a disgust with just like, because now I'm just like, man, these could be really good.
Right.
But maybe the actual answer is that they actually can't be. If this many different dev teams have taken this many cracks at it over the years and they're still coming back with this sort of like I feel like these are the sorts of problems people have had with these games all along.
Well, I mean, you said it. Goku is Superman. There's never been a good Superman game.
Totally.
Like,
but also like Superman works alone.
Yeah.
I think you could do a good Justice League game where Superman is, like, okay, think about if Superman was dead as often as Goku was.
I think Superman is dead as often as Goku is.
Yeah, well, there you go. If the actual underlying story of a Justice League game was we're waiting for Superman because we think he's going to be able to help us, but then he shows up and goes like, nope, sorry. Like I can try, but fuck, man, my kid, maybe.
Yeah.
I think you could do that for sure.
Right.
But yeah,
that's not like.
But yeah, if it's a Dragon Ball game where you just play as Goku and you think about the nature of Goku, there's no reason why that should be fun.
I honestly think their best bet would be doing like how the Kill la Kill game did it, which was a series of like side events where it's like, oh, in this fight, remember the anime when these two guys fought? What if this guy won instead? Like, how would the story look at that point?
Didn't they do that? I mean, that's like Xenoverse kind of has some of that stuff, right?
Xenoverse has done like a lot of what if
but
this
they
could have happened.
Do like it can be as simple as like how the My Hero game was, which was like a series of levels that, I mean, that one was just a recreation of the show, but like, just have some fun fights in the Dragon Ball universe. Be like, okay, like here's another timeline where Yamcha became the most powerful and now you have to fight against Frieza as Yamcha.
Not possible.
And get your ass kicked because it's Yamcha.
Yeah.
I think you could do something with a lot of spectacle, a lot of care, a lot of passion that doesn't have to be that same story that everyone knows from A to Z.
Yeah, but I think like there's also probably value in like retelling that story every generation or two of consoles, right? Of go like, oh, well now
get those DVD sales.
Sure, well, yeah, but or just go like, hey, we can make Goku look even more like Goku now. So here you go.
Yeah.
Look at the tires on that Goku.
Right. They're
perfectly
super
round. That's a very shiny Goku.
It's ridiculous.
Goku, that Triple H hair.
Yeah. So I think like that's not this game.
Right.
Like you're right that they could do that, and I think they've tried, and I can't speak to how successful they've been with that stuff or not. But I think there's still something to be said for like, hey, here's a video game version of that story. But I just feel like they did not find a way to make it fun.
This ain't it.
No, it is not.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I just don't like this presentation of like third-person Dragon Ball games. Like I kind of fondly remember the Budokai games, like when it was still like a fighting, like 2D fighting,
like the kind of side view style
versus like behind the back stuff. And I don't know, like even with the Jump Force games, and I know like my expectations were fairly low, but the combat in that exactly the same as this, mashing on a button.
Yeah.
I don't know, just there's probably a different way to present a Dragon Ball game where it could work.
Yeah,
but I think I had more fun with that fucking card game last year.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I probably would not, but
that had a fun story too about like
But also I had way more fun with Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
Like that's just they made a good fighting game, and it happens to be Dragon Ball characters. Over time, I think some of those characters are ridiculous. But I didn't watch Super, so I don't know who that cat is.
No, Beerus.
It's freaky.
All right.
They added can you have
They're adding the final Goku.
Yeah, they're putting in another. They announced another Goku for that
Impossible.
Ultra
Ultra Instinct
Instinct Goku.
Wouldn't that
His
just be-
hair's white.
Yeah, but wouldn't that just be like tap a button and win the fight? Like, oh, well, if you like what Ultra Instinct Goku is supposed to be?
Yeah,
Isn't that supposed to be like?
But they added Kid Goku like 8 months ago or a year ago or something like, and that by that logic, he would never be able to win a fight.
Exactly. Fuck that
Except
game.
he was overpowered, and like I think they've nerfed him tremendously.
They need to give everybody a pill that levels out the power levels. Like if that's the storyline, like I think Injustice 1 was that. There was something they did to like justify why Superman was not just
Why the
killing
Joker
everyone.
could like punch Superman.
Yeah.
It was
they
all
had
cinnamon oil.
Yeah, exactly. They had some weird storyline. They all smoked a ton of salvia. And then,
Government's got to come in and
yeah.
regulate these superheroes.
I went on a binge of watching salvia videos with
boy.
friends
Like
this
recent-
weekend. This weekend.
I also watched multiple salvia videos
Did
this
you watch
weekend.
doing a peanut butter and jelly on salvia?
No,
That's a good one.
I watched.
We'll talk.
All
We'll
right,
share
I
some
watched the
videos after
classics.
this. Yeah.
the guy trying to garden.
Gardening on salvia.
gardening on
Yeah,
salvia.
yeah.
Same dude trying to drive a car.
Is that stuff still just like freely sold? I don't know.
Yeah.
All over.
As recently as the 2001 video of a bunch of college guys trying to make a PB&J while smoking salvia out of a bong. They said you can buy this anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if that's changed or not. I know that there's. I feel like the laws around making like. Because
Synthetic weed.
Yeah, synthetic, or they're like the stuff around like, hey, this is technically not the banned substance, but it's a very similar to it,
Right.
so it's automatically illegal.
My understanding about the synthetic weed was that it was very bad.
Well, yeah, that stuff
was
yeah.
like dangerous, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm talking more like the hallucinogenic research chemicals that were not LSD.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
But
yes.
might as well be in the same neighborhood.
Drugs with names that are just alphanumeric strings.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that are just code names.
Yes.
Product IDs.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a bad idea. This page
Codes
just,
like Xenon and Dolphin. You know what I mean?
yes, or
Scarlet.
L5197.
Yes. Getting high on Katana over here.
This is a plant with transient psychoactive properties. The leaves contain opioid-like compounds that induce hallucinations.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like something that would have been regulated. I'm surprised that you could just go buy it at a gas station. But
I feel like I've
here we are.
because they don't. I don't know
The guys in the video I was watching said they got it from a head shop.
Yeah, I feel like that's where you got to go.
Okay. Still,
Yeah.
I'm shocked that one just slipped through the cracks. Anyway, it's from Goku to Salvia.
Pretty.
This
Giant
podcast
Bombcast story.
does it all. All right, we need to take our first break. We're going to take a break. Let's take a break.
All right.
Break.
Salvia time. What's your thoughts on reality?
Reality,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, okay.
I've been sampling it for some time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've decided it's bad.
Okay. Well, what about dreams?
That's where I have fun.
Okay.
So I'm pretty pro dream.
You're pro dream, anti reality.
Yep.
I think maybe you need to, turn the knob yourself a little bit and turn your dreams into a reality.
Oh, so like I would make reality better
Exactly.
by making it more dreamlike.
Exactly.
That checks out.
And to do that, you can use
Hmm?
Squarespace.
Wow, do they have magic?
No, they don't have magic. They've got something even better.
Oh, what could be better than that?
World-class templates from beautiful designers.
That sounds like magic to me.
Well, you will only need to use a few clicks on your magic mouse. You can use any mouse. It doesn't have to be a magic mouse.
Okay, get one that looks like a magic wand.
Yeah. In order to customize these world-class activities, these hot templates,
When I say expecto website us,
you can say whatever you want.
when I cast the spell.
Yeah.
When I,
You literally
when I deliver the incantation.
whatever. You can say whatever you want.
The webcantation.
Yeah. You can webcant anything and everything to launch your passion project on the web.
Okay.
That's if you're starting a new business. You're showcasing work.
Wand business.
Yeah, if you're in the wand business, and business is booming, as I understand it.
Custom wands for him and her.
Then you can do that. You can sell stuff. You can publish content. If you've got articles and things you need to write about wands, separate from selling them, Squarespace can do that as well.
Ethical use of magic.
Yes. There's no ethical use of magic.
No, none.
No, under the current. Well, it's this whole thing. Squarespace has powerful e-commerce functionality. You can sell these wands. You can sell anything online.
Anything.
It's got analytics, so you can see how your wands are doing. Which types of wands are the best sellers?
Unfortunately, it's the ivory ones, which
Yikes.
really we're kind of that deep in a quandary over that one. Right now.
I don't know if I want to talk to you anymore about what you're selling. You do you, and I'll tell you, everything is optimized for mobile right out of the box, and there's nothing to patch or upgrade ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like magic.
For
sure.
Yeah. They've also made buying domains simple.
Oh,
Yes.
what's a good domain?
Let's see.
And I mean like a pretend good one, not one that you actually want.
Okay.
Somebody might buy it after you say it.
Bonesquad.rodeo.
Okay. I would go to that rodeo.
All right, great. You'll get the help you need with Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support should you run into any issues.
Yeah.
But as I said, they've made it very easy.
Yes, simple.
Yes.
In fact,
So
pleasant.
Feel empowered, like the millions of other people that are using Squarespace to turn their great ideas into something real.
What kind of people?
Lawyers.
Lawyers.
Yeah,
Designers.
absolutely lawyers.
I know there's a whole list.
Yeah, there are artists. There are restaurants,
Wizards,
gyms, Jameses.
magicians.
Wizards and magicians. Absolutely. All of those people can head over to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And if you're ready to launch, you can use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/bombcast, and that offer code is BOMBCAST.
Before we get to the news, Ben, I understand you have been holding out on us.
What does that mean?
You have some secret game. The
It's not a
the identity of which you would not divulge.
This is not how I want to set this up because then it's going to be so underwhelming when I actually. I had a statement prepared. This is a paper towel. I made it approximately halfway through the game. It's called Halo Combat Evolved. Originally released on the Xbox in 2001. 2001. I looked this up.
2001.
Okay.
It was a year. Advance Wars.
I know.
The year was 2001.
I decided that this year I want to make it a goal of mine to fill in large gaps in my gaming history.
Okay. So
I
never played Halo before?
never played Halo before. I never had a non-Nintendo console in my life, aside from like going to friends' places or whatever, up until the Xbox 360. So I have huge gaps, and I figured this year with the Final Fantasy VII remake coming out, that and especially now that we're in like the first quarter of the year where there's not a ton of games, I'm like I'm gonna go back through. So I signed up for Game Pass again, downloaded that Master Chief Collection, and have just been playing through. I wanted to play through all of them before Infinite comes out. That's my goal. I don't know if that's realistic or not.
Infinite is still confirmed for this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now, but who fucking knows the way games are being postponed.
If they don't launch that Xbox
they need to do that
around there.
Yeah.
You could do that in that time.
Maybe, yeah.
Totally.
So
Yeah,
that's the
that's a
thing.
lot.
Is
They're not that long.
they're not that long.
No, they're not. But they were great games in their day. I wonder how much Halo back to back would hold up at this point.
Well, Brad, Halo's pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, I was, I'm not surprised to say that Halo is good, but, as someone with absolutely zero nostalgia for it, I played like Halo 2 multiplayer at my friend's house once or twice, and I played through a couple hours of Halo ODST. But other than that, I really didn't know the slightest thing about it. And so, it's that, it's not Definitive Edition. What's it called? The
Master Chief Collection.
Well, the Master Chief Collection, but didn't they do the thing with the different
Anniversary
graphics?
Collection.
Yes. So it's the Anniversary Edition.
So like remade graphics and stuff, right?
Remade graphics that you can swap between on the fly, which is pretty cool.
neat. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. And then they did that for Halo 2 in Master Chief Collection,
Yes.
I believe.
So that's up next, but yeah, man, Halo, like I really didn't even know what to expect down to like level design of this being this massive expansive levels. It's not like you're just kind of running down corridors and progressing in a very linear path. That,
in fact, I feel like the points in Halo where they do try to do that, they bone it up pretty good.
I was going to ask, have you gotten to the library yet?
No, that's up next. I think I just finished The Silent Cartographer, which was a name that I had heard. Yeah. So I knew that was like a good one.
That's the one that starts with the kind of beach landing with the
you're on an island. You make your way around a couple times.
That's like the iconic Halo level.
It's great.
The first game, I think.
Like it's got so much. Other than just like it being fun, the thing I'm surprised about, though I shouldn't be with like the success of stuff like Red vs. Blue, is how much personality that game has with like all the Marines' little lines, like they're even uglier when they're dead and stuff. Like that game, it just feels. I've heard it compared to an action movie, but in my mind, that was just because it was like, big shooter, spectacle, like aliens versus Marines, kind of like, it's like, Starship Troopers or whatever. But it really does feel like a story. Like, they do a really good job of the thing that stuck with me is your commander or whatever, the colonel, the general, the guy who's like on the ship at the beginning, who you rescue in that alien spaceship. His voice was so iconic to me that I was like, oh, this dude's been in like a million video games, right? Like but I looked it up and like, nah, he's been in Halo and did some like commercials. But like that's how iconic that dude saying like we have to finish the fight or whatever is. That I've heard that enough that it has stuck with me. And so I'm playing through on. I'm trying to play through all of them on not. I think heroic is that the second highest. Because I've played enough Destiny at this point that I kind of have a feel like the shooting has come a long way from
definitely
Halo to Destiny.
Absolutely.
But that like style, that sort of like
pacing, the movement,
right? You got to move around a lot.
And in some ways, I think the Halo combat is superior to Destiny's, and like in terms of the way the fights flow and like the amount of variability. Because like Destiny, it's a Diablo game,
right?
Like the loop in Destiny is designed for you to just mow down waves and waves of fodder coming at you. Yeah. And like Halo is more of like an intelligent combat
experience. You have to kind of like make your way, like your range is really bad on a lot of guns, so you have to kind of like weave your way through. And
like ammo is limited, so you're like constantly having to swap stuff.
Yeah.
The key to me, or one of the keys to the Halo combat to me, was the fact that enemies could pick up all the same weapons you can.
I haven't even noticed that yet.
Or maybe not all of them, but like enemies can grab weapons that are lying around and use them on you, and it just added so much like flavor.
Oh, that would make sense because sometimes I get like hit with a grenade from an area where I didn't like. The one thing I'll say about Halo 1, and maybe this is fixed in other Halo games, is it definitely has, I feel like, a checkpointing issue where
you can definitely catch a bad checkpoint. I think Halo 2 certainly had some of that. I'm trying to remember which game. It might have even been 3. I'm trying to remember which Halo game I got checkpointed basically over a pit, more or less. And so they got to a point with it, and again, maybe this wasn't in Halo 1, but they got to a point where like I feel like if you got a bad checkpoint and died a bunch in a row, it would reset.
Really?
A little. It would know to be like, hey, let's just move you over here to a known safe spot. And so they don't really fuck you too much on that.
Yeah, I figure.
At least in my experience, but it's been a long time since I've even played those games. I only played Halo 2 once.
That's the only one I've never finished. There was so much hubbub. Yeah, exactly. So much hubbub around the end of that game. I was like, That
was a game I remember like the year it came out. Like I didn't play that game until we were on like Christmas break. I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit in this dark room and play Halo 2. And I got to like, and even knowing that like the ending was not great, like getting there and seeing it for myself, I was very much like, man, fuck this game. What the hell? Like,
people were mad.
I was not even a big Halo 1 fan, but it was still enough to where I was just like, they made a bad choice here.
Was that the one that was very ambiguous?
It's a gigantic cliffhanger,
right?
That they don't resolve for years, because
like 3 years.
Because Halo 3 was
it was a 360
game. 360.
It was there was some space there, and it was. I did not become. I would not have. Maybe I don't. I don't know that I consider myself a Halo fan now, but I definitely didn't consider myself even close to a Halo fan until 3.
Okay.
And 3, Reach, and ODST, I think are all really solid games.
Yeah. I know 3 multiplayer is the one that a lot of people swear by too.
Yeah, well, 3 had all there's just a lot of really cool custom stuff you could do with the level
Rocket Race, wasn't that the mode?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was called.
People did all kinds of stuff over the years, but yeah, I thought that stuff was really cool.
Yeah. It's like it's something that holds up. It's one of those games, excuse me, that both is important, like a GoldenEye, but also holds up, unlike a GoldenEye.
Right, yeah.
And I was really surprised by just how fun. Even that first mission where you're running through the ship, I'm like, this is moving so fast.
The weapons feel good.
The weapons feel good. The enemies are cool, like good designs. The little guys flailing around, the elites.
Just a lot of weird, quirky elements to Halo.
Yeah.
Enemy design, like personality and writing and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably have finished it by this time next week, and I'll just keep checking in with Halo, see if I can get those done before there's too many new games out.
Gonna do the RTS also.
I have good news for you. You're gonna have plenty of time.
Yeah,
to play Halo games.
Yeah, why? Let's see. What are my favorite games coming out this year? Cyberpunk.
Dying Light 2.
Iron Man VR.
Iron Man VR. That does seem cool. I don't have a VR, but
yeah, we'll get to that stuff as we move into the news here. But I've got some other headlines that I think.
I saw one. You play that Temtem?
Oh, Temtem.
Oh, I thought he said
I'm
just started.
just curious. Like,
what's Temtem?
Temtem. Pokemon.
I wasn't going to put him on the spot. But
oh no worries.
Isn't Temtem?
I gotta know.
The lady with the fan.
What? That's 1010.
Yeah.
Come on. No,
sorry.
Anyway, Temtem, MMO. It's still MMO, very much styled like a Pokemon game. Still in early access. Just came out today. Tried dipping into it. Servers are fucking packed out the wazoo. I was able to pick a starter though. I don't remember what it's called, but it looks like a lion.
Okay.
I'm gonna say unfinished, coming soon.
All right.
Yeah. It looks neat, and the thing in my limited experience with MMOs,
the intro video looked great.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
hey, this seems like they might be putting some actual money into doing this.
Yeah. It's got a good style. It kind of reminds me of like a Breath of the Wild-ish, very islandy archipelago art style. The thing that it does, which is in my limited experience with MMOs, that it does is after you reach a certain point and then it just dumps you with all the players, everything is just littered with all these mother effers just running around and sitting down in circles.
The flood of usernames.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
All right.
I already saw someone who took the name Goku and I was mad.
Damn it. All right.
Haven't seen Goku 420 yet though, so
okay.
There's still hope.
All right, I'll get out there and register that while I can.
Okay.
All right, news. Let's get into it. Jason Schreier says Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC.
I feel like this has been something that's kicked around off and on for a while.
There was some kind of data, not a leak, but some kind of, out of some store infrastructure or something.
It's like a Steam thing that said Horizon, but that was actually about
a few weeks ago.
Was that about like one of Danny's documentaries?
Maybe
Steam.
Maybe.
Is that what it would turn out to be? I forget what it was, but.
I don't know. He says this is based on 3 people familiar with Sony's plans. So he's vetted it.
Well, if you think about it, Death Stranding is coming to PC, and that's that tech. So
it's that engine.
Yeah,
but that's not that game. That studio are not owned by Sony.
It's not.
Like the big deal here is Guerrilla and Horizon are fully Sony properties.
Yeah.
He says as of right now that's planned to come to both Steam and Epic, but that could change. But that's where it's at right now.
I don't remember if it was just DLC, but they never announced a full-on sequel.
No, they haven't announced it. It's been like a persistent rumor that
it would make sense
making a sequel,
right? Then
Guerrilla hasn't done anything since then. So, but I guess they did they did work on Death Stranding in some capacity. I think. Tons of Sony studios did. So.
I would believe that.
Yeah.
You could see this being like, okay, well, we got 2 coming for the PS5. Let's kick this one to Steam.
Remind people about it.
A PlayStation exclusive owned by Sony, developed by a Sony studio, coming to PC is like fucking huge news.
Yeah, like
that's bigger than
took
that.
it as a big deal when David Cage's stuff went to the Epic Store, because those were published by Sony.
Right, those aren't even actual full-on Sony games. Yeah. Like some of that game company stuff, or all of that game company's stuff. Well, no, Flow never did, right?
I think you might be right.
Flower and Journey came to PC. I don't think Flow did. But
so if this is fully the mask coming off, what is there any stuff from the catalog you would love to see come to PC? I know Bloodborne is a big one.
Yeah,
that people...
like that. That's the one that people would lose their effing minds over. It's hard to say Last of Us, but like that got a nice remaster.
Yeah. Maybe some Uncharted.
Like that's the thing. Like some of the
yeah, I mean,
I'm okay.
I'm also okay.
I don't know that I need those games to come to PC.
I would like to see Bloodborne just running at a high frame rate. Like I don't need to necessarily play Bloodborne again, but like it would be cool to see.
Yeah.
Bloodborne again. You know what could be cool are the Ico, Shadow of the Colossus. Those never came.
There was
no,
was there an
no.
Eco PS4? No.
Shadow of Colossus
Shadow
got
Colossus
that
got
like
that.
nice remake.
Did that come to PC?
No.
That could be cool.
That's the thing. Like
Yeah, no,
this is-
Sony hasn't done this before. It's
Yeah.
like it's like kind of crazy.
This is like
Yeah.
this is a massive shift in their policy and strategy.
Yeah. But if they're talking like they're going to bring baseball to other platforms, but even that seemed like that was going to be dictated by like, hey, if you want to be the exclusive license
Right.
holder of baseball,
Right.
you need to support the other platform.
Like that was a third party calling some shots.
yeah.
This is just them going like, hey, we made this game and it's popular. Let's put it on PC. It's crazy.
Or
nuts.
it's like, hey, it did well, but people don't remember it, so let's put it
Yeah.
out on PC.
Yeah.
Like that seems like if you were going to choose one, that seemed like a good one to choose.
Yeah, it's a big effing deal. So there's a Russian blogger / like I don't know, games commentator. I'm not familiar with him, but when the Schreier report went around, this Reset Era thread from early December popped back up, which has a video of this guy talking about exactly this. So this is like almost 2 months ago, saying, let's see, I believe this is like or user translated. This is not, the original video was not in English, but he apparently like leaked that Death Stranding was coming to PC before it did. And then he was being like, you guys doubted me on that. Well, guess what? Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC in February. So
Has he made any other bold predictions?
no, but in the same video, he also said, and again, I'm reading from this translation in this forum thread, I'm talking to different developers who are making something for the PlayStation 5, and they said to me that Sony warns them, quote, keep the PC version in mind. So, like, according to him, this is like maybe some going forward strategy for Sony that these exclusives are going to be more
I mean, if
likely to come to PC.
If they want to achieve parity with the stuff that Microsoft seems to be doing,
Yeah.
like that's a way to do it. It's
So
if you think about the architectures and what the PlayStation 5 hardware seems to be, what the Xbox Series X hardware seems to be, like you're kind of making a lot of a PC game right there.
kind of.
Yeah.
Xbox is closer than PS4 or PS5 just because of the like libraries they use and stuff. But,
right.
But it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
It's more just on the business side, you know. It's like
right.
Sony has a really strong first party offering. Locking those up on their console is kind of one of their big selling points.
But if they can reach the PC audience and sell that many more copies of those games, does that maybe offset it?
Right. And like maybe you require people to sign up for some kind of free PlayStation Network account. Some kind of account layer on top of these games on PC that you get people into your ecosystem that way.
And then if Sony is going to be offering some kind of streaming service,
right. Yeah, that's right. They already
they do.
They already make PlayStation Now
they
available on, like you could play Bloodborne on a PC now if you're willing to stream it.
Yeah. But if that's an expanding service, then maybe they do have more of a reason there too.
Yeah.
It would make sense. You know, like we don't know a ton about, for as much as like Microsoft's gotten out there and talked about xCloud, and you kind of see like the seeds that they've planted over the last handful of years starting to come to that point around the launch of that Series X and the other stuff that they're doing on PC and everywhere else. Like I feel like Sony has not had a story on that front at all.
Other than, hey, we're number one.
Other than, hey, PlayStation 4. People love it.
We're the biggest platform.
People love it. They love the PlayStation. Ask anybody. They love that PlayStation 4. And I feel like the things I feel like the things I would hear off and on like would be like, of course there's something going on. Like of course we're looking at that stuff. Of course we're, but in a way that never seemed like anything they had necessarily foreshadowed, and stuff that I don't know, like that I have like a tremendous amount of confidence in their abilities on some of those fronts, just because they haven't like proven it out. They haven't like foreshadowed it. They haven't really talked about it, but maybe that's all part of this. Maybe that is all part of the the PlayStation 5 rollout is like, hey, by the way, you can stream it anywhere, phones, PC, wherever the fuck you want to play. God of War, we'll let you. We don't care. And maybe they're heading in a similar direction. And to that end, it would make sense to have some PC native games at that point because you're caring less about people buying the platform.
Right. Yeah, like the hardware's never been a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Not a big one.
And they're going to reach players that would never buy a console for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Like there's still plenty of people that are like, hey, this is, I'm the person spending a ton more money on hardware to get a kick-ass PC.
Yeah,
I'm never going to go buy your $400 box that is less powerful than this. So give me your games. Let me buy them.
I would love to see numbers on people that only have a PC and only want to buy games on a PC. Like anecdotally, just looking at message boards, it feels like a lot, but I don't know for sure.
Well, you're looking at message boards.
That's
where
what I'm
those
saying.
people
That's
gather.
what I'm saying.
So
it's
that's,
like there's
like if you look at mobile and all that other stuff, like I feel like the prevailing story that tapered off over the last few years, but like for a while there was very much that death of the desktop narrative. About like, oh, well, iPads are just like replacing needs. Like, you're not going to need a powerful computer in the workplace for sure. And once that falls, like, how many enthusiasts are there out there really that are going to spend this kind of money on this kind of graphics card and so on and so forth? But yeah, there's enough of them.
Yeah.
There's millions, I'm sure, that would love to play those games there.
Yeah. And even if it's not a huge thing, it's like, like we said a few minutes ago, like Microsoft's kind of forcing their hand in some way.
Potentially.
Like Microsoft is getting into that market. So like Sony can either sit it out or try to like take the fight to them.
Yeah.
In that space.
At least like matching blow for blow on some of that stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
You think this is a sign of them being a little worried?
It's less worried and more like just like alert to the realities of the market.
Yeah, like maybe there's more as like a keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing of like they're doing it, we also have to do it.
But they've been in streaming longer. They've had a consumer facing streaming product for a lot longer. It's just no one talks about it because it was never great. But they've been out there doing that. They bought Gaikai a long time ago now. So yeah, I don't know. I think that there's plenty of room for them to do that stuff on the PC. I don't think it necessarily. I don't see a way that really hurts them. It just gets their games out into the hands of more players, and I think everyone is starting to see that like it might not be this generation, but as time goes on and the technology gets out there more and more, it's going to be less and less and less and less about the box under your television.
Yeah,
and Sony, they're not idiots; they know that.
And that's great. Like that's good for everybody who buys games.
I think so too. Yeah,
for sure.
This other bit in there, you said February.
Yeah.
So is this Russian out there saying Horizon drops in February?
That's literally what he said. And this was the beginning of December. He didn't just say, hey, Horizon's coming to PC. He said, hey, it's coming to PC in February.
So there's been a ton of stories going around about a potential February event from Sony.
Yeah, that's the next story.
Yeah. So do you think then that they have their PlayStation 5 event?
Oh,
and then as a part of that, say Horizon's out now,
like show a Horizon.
Man, yeah. If that's the case, then
like that all lines up, right?
People at Sony are probably furious right now about the amount of information that's gotten out. If that's all the case, if that's all true. Yeah, this is a weird story that I was like debating whether we should talk about until this thing happened. Like, I guess it's this morning or no, it was yesterday. With this weird Twitter bio update thing that maybe confirmed some of it. There was a big PlayStation 5 supposed info dump on 4chan a week or two ago.
That has since been deleted.
Yeah, about a week ago, a little over a week ago, with like the supposed date of the reveal, which would be February 5th in New York. The price, like selling points.
What do they list as the price?
Backwards compatible stuff. Also, there's information about the Xbox pricing, which I don't know who this person would be that would be getting this much
Surfer Girl,
like this much info about
Surfer Girl's back.
This many different things, like makes you wonder.
CEO of Best Buy,
right? Yeah. Like what high level person is going to have access to all this stuff? Anyway, this leak says event in New York City on the 5th to unveil the PlayStation 5.
New York City.
That's where they did it last time.
Yeah. They're in I didn't realize they have a theater there, but this said it would be in the Sony Hall in New York City. So, they're saying $500 for the PS5, single SKU, only one package.
Sure.
They're also saying $600 for the Xbox Series X and $400 for the cheaper box. That's what they're saying.
Mm.
Who knows how.
Do we know the difference between those boxes yet?
The Xboxes?
Yeah.
That's been pretty fuzzy. Like, hasn't it? I think it's been like up in the air whether the weaker box was even happening or not. Like some people have said, like, oh, that got killed.
Yeah, there's back and forth on that. I know.
I feel like that came back in a big enough way that it seems like that's still
Yeah, it's been pretty fuzzy. Like what, the capabilities
a lot of the
box are.
but I feel like a lot of the discussion around the specs of that one put it like maybe it's. Well, it's not an apples to apples comparison because of the changes they're making around the CPU and stuff like that. But
it is a power
in
thing.
some ways,
Definitely
it would be less
much
powerful than the Xbox One X.
Well, that's by certain metrics.
Certain metrics.
Okay.
Yeah, but like that might not be relevant or noticeable in what the end product is, but just like, oh, these numbers are lower, these are so much higher.
But probably in a few years it would be a little noticeable, maybe.
And it's a different discussion.
Right.
I think
like I said, not an apples to apples comparison.
The real question is, would it run games that run natively on the Series X natively on that box as well, or would they be like, hey, you should sign up for a streaming service, or you should stream these games if you want to play them on this smaller box?
So it would be similar to like an Xbox One and an Xbox One X situation.
Well, those definitely run the same games. Like this is
right. I'm saying like those two, like the difference between those two boxes more aligned with like it's not like there's no disk drive and there's it's more like that stuff.
That stuff sounds very fuzzy.
At the end of the day, we don't quite know, right? Yes. I mean, presumably, because they did put out that digital-only Xbox One S.
Yeah. Also, now that I've just said that out loud, that sounds insane to sell a box that is of the next generation and not run that generation's games. Yeah. So I'm sure it will run those games natively.
Exactly. If they're saying that they're going to be putting out games on the Xbox One for some time to come, then clearly, it would run that stuff natively.
But the PlayStation,
in what capacity, nobody knows.
Right.
But see what else there is here.
A better shot of that logo. I can't get enough of that logo.
That's a hell of a 5. It's got that sharp corner.
Careful.
Let's see. Backwards compatibility. I'll just read from the leak. I mean, again, should I get to the part where it seems like maybe the leak is legit?
Yes.
Yeah, the part that kind of starts to line this leak up, because before that it was like, well, yeah, maybe
anyone can do a leak.
Yeah, especially when you're, I feel like it's very easy to write down like, oh, February in New York when you think about how the PS4.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with the PS4, so that's not surprising at all. But one part of the leak said that the new slogan for the PlayStation going forward will be "It's time to play," and then is it the PlayStation? Yeah, it was the PlayStation Europe Twitter account this morning. Updated their bio with the phrase "It's time to play."
Yeah,
or yesterday.
Yesterday.
Right,
which is either very telling or like somebody who's got control of that account being very cheeky. I don't know.
I don't think
that seems like the kind of thing that
they could be cheeky like that.
That seems like the kind of thing that like could like cost a social media manager their job if they caused this big shitstorm.
But also, it was probably time to like make that change. Like that was probably an approved.
Like some social media manager knows that on this date I have to change this, but didn't hear about the leak, or whatever.
So I mean, if that's if that is the case, then
that's the part that links this.
The leaker got the slogan right a week ago. Then that certainly lends some credibility to this.
With a slogan like that, I mean, you could not predict that. Hey Jeff, what time is it?
12:30.
Oh, okay. It's not time yet.
Yeah. What do we do at 12:30? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we have to wait till February. It's not time to play yet.
Yeah.
It's time to play.
It's time to play.
That makes sense. Didn't it used to be power to the play? No, that's game. That was stop.
I think that's right.
They
had a play.
The best place to play.
The best place to play. Yeah. I think they have like, they've always had like play, I think, in their
PlayStation.
Yeah,
is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It was one of the articles I was reading about.
Play.
Yeah, no, you're right. They've had slogans that are
iteration of the PlayStation has had a blank play,
something like this.
So it could be a wild guess, but like with this specific information, you start to think like
it's time for leaks. Like we're also like we're in that zone. It's time to play leaks. It's time to play. Verify the leaks.
Time to play. Of course, it's time to leak.
Pricing obviously is not set in stone right now. Like that could always change.
Yeah,
there's no reason that those are the final numbers necessarily.
But they're going to open up pre-orders sooner or later.
Yeah. Some other stuff from the leak. I'm just going to read from it directly. Backwards compatibility with all PS4 games is a big feature. Through a new transferring feature, users will easily
transferring.
Users will easily transfer their PS4 games to the PS5 if those games are already downloaded. Save data and backups for PS4 games will also be transferable. This is the weird part. Some of it has been rumored, but backwards compatibility is such a major feature that games from all 5 PlayStation platforms, and then parentheses they list PS1, 2, PSP, PS3, and PS4, will be compatible on PS5, making it a quote ultimate PlayStation console.
That's been like as this whole like play all the way back to PlayStation 1 stuff has been swirling around. The thing I started wondering is like, if they do hit that, do they actually?
Yeah, it's the PSP stuff.
Do they actually do PSP?
Yeah. What about also leaving the Vita out?
What about the Vita?
So the Vita has a touchscreen. Like it's actually significantly harder to
sure.
Like guaranteeing you have to do work to those games in some cases to make it work. Yeah. So like you could do the whitelisting thing that the PlayStation TV did. I think that's a shitty way to go.
Yeah, but there's only like 3 games on the whole platform. Yeah. You know, just do
if 2 of them don't work, why bother?
Right.
You know, people can just play regular Persona 4 and be happy with that and not have to play Golden.
Yeah.
This is like kind of a mundane detail, but I was really surprised to read it that they're saying DualShock 4 controllers will work on the PS5, which I did not expect at all. Obviously, PSVR, that's mentioned in here, but that they already confirmed that PSVR would work, but I didn't think controllers would as well.
Well, that those paddles are out. This week or next.
Okay, something. Yeah, that makes sense. Then that makes more sense why they're like putting out new accessories for existing controllers. Yeah, like 9 months before a new console. Mm-hmm. I think that's everything. It's like pricing for all the consoles, the February 5th reveal dates. I think that's all the major stuff.
February 5th is very soon.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
From now.
That would be the announce / pre-orders or update. Did they say anything about the release?
It doesn't necessarily. Well, you don't start pre-orders without a date,
right?
Yeah, definitely.
So they could get out of this event without a date and without opening pre-orders if they wanted to.
Yeah,
assuming the event even happens. I mean, we don't even know that.
Sure, right? But like, assuming this is all accurate, you imagine that they don't announce all of this and also not announce a date.
Right. I think it makes...
Like if they're going to announce price and all the backwards compatibility stuff, it's like at that point you don't really have anything left to talk about other than the date, and then you have to have a whole nother
right, and then you're like, okay, well we're not at E3, so we have to then gin up another reason to talk middle of the year,
right? Like another experience or whatever.
Which they're not going to do that and just announce a date, because they'll run out of games to show at a thing like that if they have it mid-year, right? Because they're not going to necessarily have a ton of PS5 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe. I think strategically it would be an over-the-top... If you think about the back and forth with Sony and Microsoft that we've seen so far, and who knows if they even care about this stuff. Maybe we just care about this stuff and people out there care about this stuff, but it doesn't actually matter to them that much internally. But... this is the other shoe. Like if they're going to come out at CES and announce a logo and be like, we'll be back later, and be like, get fucked, basically. This is the way you kind of seal the deal on that and make it look like a stroke of weird genius.
Yeah.
Instead of like literally walking out on stage and showing a logo. If you go in February with everything else, and then say like, there you go. Now you know. And then
not making fun of our Spider-Man logo now, are you?
Exactly. And just like, and then it's because then it's like, now you know, and Microsoft probably won't talk to you until E3.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a power play for sure.
I think that'd be a powerful move for them to make. So I could see them going all the way with whatever they've got, except for games. Like I could
the
see
game
them
thing, because right now the only PS5
Godfall.
Yeah.
So. This is a little tough because that 4chan thread has been removed. So this is you're kind of like digging through reporting on it.
Right.
There was one other aspect to that thing that I didn't mention, which is the supposed launch lineup.
Okay. That's the actual to me, that's the interesting thing.
Or not, maybe not the full launch lineup, but the games that will be announced in the near future as launch games. Gran Turismo 7.
Sure.
Yeah, seems like if that was happening, that would be kind of tough to keep under wraps, but here we are. MLB The Show 21, Demon Souls Remastered, which has been incredibly heavily rumored for a very long time. Godfall, that one game that has been announced, and a game called Legends with a Z from Sony Santa Monica.
Okay.
So they're talking like those games will be potentially revealed. And then I think there's a secondary list of games. Let's see. Well, it's all pretty standard. A New Horizon, a sequel to Spider-Man, very, very predictable stuff.
But you're saying it's all first-party stuff there?
That's what it's... No, Godfall is not. That's
no, but I mean the rest of the games that you're talking about. New Horizon. What are the other games in that list?
A new Crash Bandicoot game.
Okay.
Sure. A sci-fi game from Naughty Dog.
All right.
This is, I don't know. It's so weird talking about this stuff because we don't know.
No, we don't. But I if we're gonna talk a little bit about it, I want to hear. I want to hear it all.
Okay, then
because you can start to assess the whole thing.
Yeah, New Horizon, sequel to Marvel Spider-Man, a new Crash Bandicoot, a sci-fi game from Naughty Dog, Final Fantasy 16.
What?
Sure.
A new Resident Evil game.
Well, they're not doing the rest of that 15 content,
Right? No. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And 14 is its own thing.
Announcing a Final Fantasy game doesn't mean they have to ship it this decade.
Yeah, totally. These games may just be starting development. Who knows?
They show a picture of a guy with big hair and a sword, and then the words Final Fantasy 16 on screen.
Oh.
And everyone loses their shit.
It says Fabula Nova Crystallis, but for real this time.
What if it's 15-2-2?
So this stuff just keeps going and going because 4.5 hours ago, supposed footage of Godfall leaked.
Yeah.
A good chunk of it. A good long
a minute or so?
trailer-ish looking chunk of footage, yes. And I don't think anybody officially behind the game has weighed in on the authenticity, but there is that video out there.
It looks like a video game.
Yeah, it looks like a kind of heavy melee combat game.
Yeah, more or less what they said.
Footage is kind of low quality enough that it's kind of hard to eyeball and see exactly how good it looks.
We were trying to come up with a word like Schluter for a sword-based game. Somebody called into the after show with slash and grab, which I really like.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Not a whole lot else to say about the Godfall footage. It looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea this is from the team that did what was that?
It's a new
card
developer.
game. They did
Duelist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then I've done support on
okay.
some other things.
Okay.
Which I never played, but I always thought looked really cool. I don't know.
These I could see a world where all of that is accurate. I guess that's there wasn't too much jumping out there that you go oh well, clearly this is fake. If anything, Final Fantasy 16 is the one you look at and go all right, some lunatic is just writing this and laughing all the while. Yeah. But turns out Square are the lunatics.
It's the calling card of the leaker.
Totally,
couldn't help but
exactly. You want one thing in there that you just go all right, because people will buy anything, right? That's people will,
as long as it's not
this shit up.
A bunch of Final Fantasy 16s, right? They're announcing, well, I guess the new Crash Bandicoot would be what I would say.
Well, so Crash Bandicoot is
make that.
Activision would.
I know they own the property. I'm
but
just thinking,
who did the remaster?
Yeah, they did, and then they did the Crash. Or was Crash Team a different?
I don't know.
I assume it was. I could look that up
because that was Activision.
Maybe that's the Blue Point thing.
Huh.
Yeah, that collection sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, actually, but yes, that's the thing. Is the Crash collection did very well. It's very easy to believe that a company like Activision that forgot how to make games would look at that and go this is a franchise now, make more Crash.
Yes. Can people think of it again?
Yeah.
The Insane trilogy has listed Vicarious Visions, Toys for Bob, and Iron Galaxy.
I don't trust them.
So that totally could be happening.
Yeah, you could say, hey, let's build up a studio to make a new Crash.
They already did tech and artwork.
What does that even look like?
What
it looks Crash? Like a high res Crash Bandicoot game.
Know.
I don't know. What is Crash? What?
I don't know. You can get away with that when it's hey, this is the thing you remember from 20 years ago. But when you're making a new one, I don't know.
This is the most powerful console ever. Check it out. He's running at the camera.
Well, what do you want? Knack 3? Come on.
Yes.
All right, now you're.
Knack 2 was fun. Brad, remember when we played a little bit of Knack 2 and it was all right?
That was okay.
All right.
It was okay.
Sometimes he's a big guy. Sometimes he's a little guy.
Right. Sometimes there's two necks.
I think there's a lot of fucking synergy around building a new Crash Bandicoot in a launch time frame for a PlayStation 5, a console that, if they are going to make it play all the old games and honor the legacy of PlayStation, you want Activision right there with a Crash game.
You know what they say? It's time to play.
That is what they say. That's a good point.
I've heard that.
So I guess, I guess I could see all that making sense, or none of it could happen. Like honestly, like that's like this stuff is so up in the air still.
Yeah.
Other than like I feel like the persistence of the like full on backwards compatibility back to PS1, I feel like that's been the stuff that's been kicking around the most for the longest.
Yeah.
But also keep in mind that's stuff that like people have been talking about for a long time. And that'd be something that if you were building a fake leak, you could go like, okay, well, I'll put this in here.
Yeah. The good news is we'll know soon enough because
a couple weeks. Like if this is happening, if this is happening, then invites need to start going out very soon.
Right. I would say like they'd have to start contacting people a week at least ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to give people like at least a week to plan a trip like that.
Yeah. Definitely.
God, I hope that backwards compatible stuff is true. Like I know the joke about it. Like the joke is like what everybody wants it, nobody uses it.
Right.
Is the thing, but then like Xbox is one thing, but there is so much like legacy and history around the library of the PlayStation going back 25 years. Like there are so many games that it would be cool to just be able to like pop into that thing. Like
totally,
I've still got all of my PlayStation 1 and 2 games in the closet. It'd be so cool to drag those things out.
It'd be so cool to not have to hook up a PS2 to play those Tony Hawk games we've been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
just play some Einhander whenever I feel like it.
Right. That would be very convenient, and also I feel like that's very attainable with the level of power we're talking about out of a PlayStation 5. Certainly, that thing will play PS1 games just fine. PS2 games very attainable on modern PCs. PS3 games to a certain extent very attainable on modern PCs. Though that hobbyist development has like there are plenty of games that don't run well, but that's because it's being built by people that did not build the original hardware and are missing some of the quirks and still have a lot of work to do in their spare time. So
also like
Patreon, I guess.
Like Sony calls the shots on what goes into the system on a chip in their thing. Like who knows what they're putting on that die.
You got to sell on a chip. You got to
probably not.
Yeah,
almost definitely not. But who knows? Who knows what kind of custom hardware?
All I'm saying is that 50 Cent Blood on the Sand does not run well on my PC when I try to run the PlayStation 3 version of it. So if they can attain that...
Or like, remember some of the weird shit they did? Like the original PS2, I think, used the CPU from the PS1 as
like a sound.
I think it was an I/O controller.
Okay, yeah.
But that chip was in there, so they were able to leverage it to get backwards compatibility.
Right.
Like, who knows what weird shit they're doing to facilitate this stuff. I hope that stuff happens. I hope that we have a bunch of fun new announcements in a couple weeks because we're not going to have as many games to play as we thought by any means. God, what had gotten delayed by last week? It was Avengers and Final Fantasy, and I think that was it.
I think that was it.
Very end of last week was Cyberpunk.
So Cyberpunk happened a couple days after the podcast last week.
And I think that's the time when I like Dying Light came up on UPF, and I was like, oh, don't worry, they'll delay that.
Yeah, and here we are.
Got him.
It started with Cyberpunk last week getting pushed from April to September.
They have to get out of the way of Grimes' pregnancy.
I guess so. Everybody does.
I don't know if the math on that checks out, but
yeah, probably not.
I'd like to believe it.
I'm not going to read any of the statements that came out for any of these because they're all the same thing. It's like, hey, we need more time to realize our vision.
Must make game better.
So September 17th is the new date for Cyberpunk.
And then they say like I feel like in the wake of that, where a lot of stories are going like, oh yeah, people are going to crunch on this thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, CD Projekt Red has already had some questions called upon.
I wish I had saved the Twitter thread. I don't remember if it was like Ronnie or who. Some developer was out there saying like yes, these delays are good. They need more time to make the games better, but also like
they're going to crunch
these delays. These delays just basically mean an extension of crunch to get these games done.
They're not necessarily like delaying and going like, all right, everybody go home for the weekend.
It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So Cyberpunk is September now. Iron Man VR was supposed to be out next month, which I didn't realize.
Oh, really? I always thought that was a May game for some reason.
No, it is now.
Oh.
It was.
Well, there you go.
It was supposed to be out at the end of February.
You're just having a premonition of things to come.
That was supposed to be out at the end of February. That is now May 15th.
That sounds like a May game.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was like a good light summer action.
Yeah, like an early summer
bonanza.
Have some fun.
Get real sweaty in your VR.
Superhero business.
Yeah.
And then Dying Light was just yesterday, I believe. Sorry, this webpage is seizing up. That was April, I believe. Let me triple check. Is that right?
That sounds right.
I don't think this says, but they did not put a date on their new release. They just said, "Hey, we need more time. We will let you know when we have a new time frame for you."
Yeah.
That game seemed very ambitious from what I saw of it at E3 last year. So that one, I'm not super surprised. They seem like they're really going for it in some ways. But man, like
it always happens, right?
I know, but it's just so many all at once.
Well, it feels different. It probably feels different because this is also going to be a hardware year, right?
Yeah.
So the further you delay, you do start to bump up against those hardware launches, and then you're like squeezing one out the door 2 weeks before a console hits.
God, I wonder if like Dying Light might be one that, like, if they don't have a time frame to give, maybe that just becomes a next gen game,
or both,
or maybe both. Yeah, if they're obviously they were already working on.
Yeah.
But maybe they put out like a native version for PS5 and Series X if they push it past the launch of the hardware.
I'm kind of thinking a lot of the games we see this year could end up in that boat.
Yeah.
See it for Doom.
Yeah. I wonder what we'll see like the first year of the new consoles. Like, because remember the launch of this generation that we're in now was like the early days of it. All the questions were around, do people want another console, or has mobile totally destroyed the console business?
Yeah.
And you had a lot of analysts, you had a lot of even just like, retailers or publishers, the people making decisions about which games to develop for these boxes, being very skittish and very meek about Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And so that's why you had that whole first year of remasters and remakes and all that other shit, because everyone had to scramble to put games into development and try to get them out and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It probably won't be that, or if it is that, it won't be for the same reasons, right? I think like it's been established, like people have a sense of like where things are going and that it's worth supporting these boxes.
People still like big video games.
Yeah.
It turns out.
Do you think Fortnite is available natively for both of those consoles, day and date? Day one?
For sure.
Well, if it's backwards compatibility,
yes,
does it need to be?
I'm saying,
I'm literally saying, is there a native PS5 version of Fortnite day one?
I think that only depends on how they handle this backwards compatibility thing,
right.
and if they just say, "Hey, PS4 games can just be enhanced by the developers and
it'll just run at higher res
PS4
and whatever."
games," or like that. That comes down almost more to like business policy at some point.
Like, do they need to do it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like maybe they let them do that work on the existing install, as opposed to it having like a separate entry in their store and it being a different download and stuff like that. Like who knows what that transition looks like? But yes, absolutely, there is a. Fortnite is big enough that they added 120 frames per second support to the iPad Pro version a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I know that because I got up one morning and looked at Twitter, and 120 FPS was trending on Twitter. And I was like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
And I clicked through, and people were like losing their minds over the fact that a version of Fortnite would run at that frame rate. So like people definitely care about how Fortnite runs on their devices.
Right.
Have you guys seen the Nerf Fortnite gun?
Yeah.
That's just huge.
Yeah.
And like I saw it in real life 2 different places.
Oh, wow.
Like that's got to be doing great for Nerf.
I bet.
Nerf probably loves that.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a sec out there saying, yes, we do need to nerf Fortnite. What is this? Shotgun is broken, I'm told.
One game that supposedly is definitely not happening is Left 4 Dead 3.
Okay.
I saw. So this kind of really came to
Bill's not here?
Yes. Whatever, people have been talking about there being a new Left 4 Dead for ages.
Yes.
But this really this rumor got a bunch of new life pumped into it with this HTC. I'm not clear what his involvement with HTC is. I'm not sure if he's an executive or what level of the company he's at, but an HTC rep or executive gave a talk at some conference last week, and he had a slide with a mention of Half-Life Alyx / L4D3 driving new interest in VR.
Sure.
And, HTC makes the Vive. They're pretty close to Valve.
Yeah.
So people at HTC, if such a game existed, would certainly be in a position to know about it.
Well, Valve also makes their own hardware now.
Well, now
so
they
they're
do.
probably
Now
not
they
as
do.
close.
Yeah. But there certainly has been a pretty close relationship there.
Yeah.
Valve got out within 3-4 hours of that blowing up. I saw online that they were out there with a statement saying, "Nuh-uh."
They didn't. They said we are absolutely not working on.
They really
Left 4 Dead 3.
stomped on the idea.
Is that what they said? We are not working on. Did they say Left 4 Dead 3 or a Left 4 Dead game?
We've seen rumors to this effect for the last couple of months. We did briefly, so they're pretty honest about what they've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did briefly explore some Left 4 Dead next generation opportunities a few years ago, but we are absolutely not working on anything Left 4 Dead related now and haven't for years.
Great.
Yeah. So that stuff got out in the engine or some other. There were pointers to a Left 4 Dead 3 either on Steam or I feel like there's that work they referred to a couple years ago. I feel like that was where the rumors came from, as people were seeing stuff and going this is clearly a new Left 4 Dead game.
They
Valve News Network was out there losing his mind, going nuts.
Like that. I mean, they literally said it at least twice in the statement. Later in a different paragraph, they say, unfortunately, for now, a new Left 4 Dead game is not something we're working on.
Yeah.
They really wanted to tamp this down. So not actually a thing, it seems.
So I wonder if that's old information. And I think he got out there on Twitter and had to backpedal a ton and be hey,
I'm sure he
I was just saying big games will drive stuff. I did not mean to say.
I'm sorry, Gabe.
Oh fuck!
Should have just maybe been a little clearer about that.
Yeah.
All right. We asked this question last week, and then now we immediately have an answer. We should ask more questions.
What are video games
on this podcast? And just
that's our question of the week.
What are the lotto numbers going to be in 2 weeks?
6.
6. That's a good one.
Yeah.
18. 42.
Yeah.
17.
Okay.
3.
And then the Powerball.
12.
Okay.
What happens if somebody plays those numbers and wins?
You can ask. You can ask me next week.
Please send me.
It's going to end up in court.
Please send me money.
Yeah, we were talking about Monster Hunter last week about the versions being out of sync, and then Capcom immediately came out and said, "Hey, we're going to get all versions of Monster Hunter in sync by April."
Yeah,
which is unexpected. I didn't think
they had said that they were this was something they wanted to do.
Okay,
so there was at least that bit out there.
Okay,
I wonder if it was maybe also a response to how the PC version of Iceborne is doing,
probably
right.
They're oh, this is where the player base is now. We need to tell them.
That's definitely how it seems, just from reading discussion about the game. People really seem to prefer that version.
It's so much better.
Yeah. They say they're going to basically accelerate the update roadmap on PC just to get the patches out faster.
Man, that's almost if you want to get all that stuff from all those events, you really got to buckle down then, because if they're going to plow through these events,
I don't know about
they
the
do
event
recycle.
Stuff.
Yeah,
some events.
I mean, I'm talking literal patches and game updates.
Got it.
I probably don't need to get too into the weeds on this. There's a title update 3. So title update 3 is hitting consoles in March and then PC in April.
Okay.
And then at that point, everything from that April patch onward, everything will be in sync across all versions. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if they get to cross save at some point. If not,
that'd be neat.
If not full on cross play, at least being able to bring your progress back and forth.
I mean, that's a way for Capcom to sell 2 copies to the same players instead of 1 if they haven't already bought it. So
I'm trying to remember. Do you have to make a Capcom account of some kind to play that game? You don't, right?
No.
Okay. So maybe not for
just
this.
Use your
version.
Street Fighter account.
There you go. All right. It's time to talk about Smash Brothers. And Fire Emblem? Ben? Sorry, closer to the microphone.
Arm fart of the week.
Man, people were not happy about this. Okay, can you confirm, did they go back on their word? Because that's what I saw a lot of people saying.
I don't know.
A lot of people said, hey, they promised that the last character was going to be I forget what the phrasing was, like a character from a franchise we've never had before or something along those lines.
They might have.
Instead turned out to be, what is it, the 8th Fire Emblem character?
8th or 9th Fire Emblem character.
So they announced the last character in the first pack of characters for Smash Ultimate?
Yes, like season 1.
This is the end of season 1.
Okay, let me ask this. Prior to this whole announcement, did people assume this was it for new characters for this game?
No,
Or had they already said there would be more?
They said there would be more when they announced Terry.
Also, come on. Like anyone that was going,
Well,
like, man, there's only going to be
I'm
not saying you. I'm saying if there are people out there going like, and that's it.
I'm trying to gauge like how justified the level of anger was if people thought this was all they were going to get or something.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think, okay, I mean, my take is the only Smash guy in the room. Like, I'm not even...
I purchased Smash Brothers. It's me. I'm the other Smash guy.
You're the other Smash guy.
I'm a Smash owner.
The thing to me that's cool about DLC characters in Super Smash Brothers is taking this character from outside the world of, not even necessarily fighting games because you had Terry, but outside the world of Smash, and seeing how to translate that character into Smash Brothers, where it's like, okay, what is your dash attack going to be? What are your special moves going to be? You know, what are your smash attacks going to be? And the thing that's just so boring about this is like, it's Byleth. Her dash attack is she runs and swings her sword, just like Marth and Ike. And
like I would even go further with that, and like no offense to people who love Fire Emblem, but like Fire Emblem characters are like kind of just generic anime fantasy looking.
Like once
characters.
you remove them from the storytelling of Fire Emblem, you're just like, all right.
Like if you don't know who they are and you look at this lineup of Fire Emblem characters in Smash, they're just a bunch of fantasy characters with swords and things like that. You know,
and especially like Byleth in this game. Like I I'm on record as not finishing that game, but
can I teach my students?
You can see there's 3 different houses. Like the stages has 3 different houses. So sometimes you'll see the golden tears in the background. Sometimes you'll see, and the music's there. Like that's the thing. Like this doesn't look like a bad job. Like it's not like a shitty version of a character or anything. It's just an uninspired, kind of boring, safe.
Yeah, like it's not terrible. It's just when this is sort of the last character.
Honestly, I don't even think that seems. It doesn't seem safe. Like.
Well, it's got
yet another Fire Emblem.
A lot of people are excited, but like my biggest issue, and Jan, maybe you can speak to this, is like Byleth's one of the most boring parts of that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a silent protagonist, so there's not much personality other than like the grunting of attacks.
And like I understand that it's a game where you have 3 very distinct pathways, so most fans are going to be kind of divided on who their favorites are. But even if you go with somebody like an Edelgard, who's kind of prevalent in all the playthroughs, like I feel like there's when I see memes about Fire Emblem in my timeline about 3 houses, it's never about Byleth.
I feel the same way about the inclusion of like the hero from Dragon Quest, in terms of like that character's fine, whatever, but at the same time, like not the most personality of any character in that game. Like you could have gone with one of the side, like the other characters in your party that talks and has more to say, that does more things, and that would have just been more vibrant than, especially in a game with all those Fire Emblem characters. Here's another sword guy.
I think where they make that one work is with how they handle like the abilities and the random spells and stuff. Like they made the character interesting to compensate for that. Whereas this just has it's a miss on both parts for me. Like the character. I mean, they do have like they make fun of it in the trailer where like a bunch of sword people beat the shit out of Byleth, and Byleth goes back and talks to Sarah. No, who's the little girl who lives inside of you? Who's actually a demon
inside of me?
god.
I can't recall
Her.
off the top of my head.
The
god.
Yes, the character talks to the god, and the god's like, well, okay, how about a weapon triangle? And then like your special moves are like you have a lance and an axe and a whatever sword and a bow. And it's like, well, okay, cool, but like we've already had Robin in the game who uses magic. Like the idea of a Fire Emblem character in the game with something else isn't even new.
You had a piranha plant.
Yeah.
You had a plant in a pot as a fighting game character.
Yeah.
Like, you could get so much weirder with this.
Yeah, man.
Or like, like Banjo-Kazooie is like a great Xbox throwback.
Right.
Like Terry's like a really fascinating
Terry is a cool one. Like they've also, did they, correct me if I'm wrong, did they not also dangle Cuphead as part of this?
So Cuphead is one of the
kind of like add-on character or like one of the
Mii Fighter hats like you can wear.
How about fucking Cuphead as a character?
He got the same treatment that like Sans and Goemon got.
Right. Like, there's just so many more interesting angles
Yeah.
that you could have gone. Whatever. I mean, I'm not super invested in Smash Brothers, but
Yeah. People seem excited about it, and that's cool. Like, but I think as you were like last, this was like the people were getting mad that they announced a Pokemon Direct instead of a Fire Emblem Direct because they were so excited to hear about this last character of the pack.
Or the Smash, like a regular Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so here we are.
Yeah.
But so they are doing a second pack, is that correct?
Yeah.
There will be another 6 characters.
So yeah, they're gonna. They're gonna support this game forever.
Yeah, I think they said, what is it, by the end of 2021 is when these next 6 will finish coming out.
Jesus. Yeah, that lines up. It's been about 2 years since Ultimate came out. So
Oh, wow. I guess so.
God, has it?
no, it was
it's about a year, right? Year and change.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
It was a year and change.
Yeah, it was just a year in like
It
December.
was December.
Right?
So yeah,
But I mean, whatever. That's like a character every 4-ish months. Like that makes some sense.
let's get Drago in there from Ring Fit. That's my only want.
Yeah, like I have zero interest in playing Smash Brothers, but I like watching it from a like longtime fan of Nintendo perspective. It's just like fun to see who they like pluck out of the history books or whatever.
Did you guys watch any of Sakurai's? Like, I'm gonna make everyone sit in front of me and laugh when I do my talk about how this character works. He always does like a 30-minute.
I know he always does his thing. I saw some of the Terry one, but
He just got into like how to count in binary on your hands. When he started talking about how many Fire Emblems there have been, like it seems like he's having fun with it, which I at least am happy
That's
about
good.
because there's been so many quotes about him. There's like, Smash is killing me.
Yes, if he's going to work himself to death, he should at least enjoy it.
Yeah.
go out with a smile.
Yes. So
that's why the next pack will be which 6 Fire Emblem characters do you think will be?
Hubert. I'm hoping for Hubert.
I thought you said Cubert, and like, yes, all right,
Yeah,
put
sure.
Cubert in Smash.
Put Hubert in Smash.
Yeah.
Ben, you really got my hopes up last week.
I know. I told Jan there was a chance it was going to be Sora from Kingdom Hearts because that was like one of the more prevalent rumors.
The business that would have to take place for that to occur is like so monumental that
That's true, but Cloud's in it.
Cloud is not Disney.
That's true. At this, yeah.
I wonder what the arrangement is though around the original characters in Kingdom Hearts. Like obviously Disney has its characters and Square has its characters, but the ones that were made for Kingdom Hearts, I wonder who's got.
It's primarily, I believe it's primarily. I had this literal conversation, but I think it is Disney that calls.
Well, I mean, Sora was the guy in The Bouncer before.
Yeah,
but
so that's even further back.
So yeah,
but I want to say that like there would be. You would have to get sign off from both Disney and Square, 2 companies that love working together.
Because then that would only open the door for people demanding that Mickey Mouse eventually makes his way into Smash, right?
And then you've got Nintendo opening a theme park at Universal.
Right.
Ooh, what beloved Universal character is
Well,
gonna-
yeah,
The
exactly.
Mummy.
The Mummy, yes.
Brendan
Swampo.
Fraser.
I mean, if you want to talk about Brendan Fraser in Smash, I'll talk about Brendan Fraser in Smash.
I guess at that point, all it takes is like one executive with sour grapes over that theme park to be like, nope, fuck them. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Business.
Like, yes.
Business.
Okay, that's it for news. We are going to take another quick break. And then what?
Well, I don't know. We're done with news, right?
Yeah.
Come back with some
text
emails?
messages.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, why don't we do some emails?
Wow. Oh, you guys listen to the show. Cool.
Yeah.
Which show? This show?
All right, cool. We'll be right back. Jeff, before we get into it, I understand the Godfall people?
Breaking news.
Yes, a statement emerged over the break. Who put the statement out?
The
Godfall
official
footage?
Godfall Twitter account at Play Godfall.
It's time to play.
Counterplay Games, the developers running it. They say, hey, everyone, we can confirm that the circulating trailer is year-old PC footage used as part of an internal presentation. We are energized by your excitement and look forward to showing you just how far the game has come. Stay tuned for a more detailed look soon.
Oh, shit.
Soon, you say?
Soon.
Maybe in a couple weeks.
Maybe. Maybe not.
That's okay. All right, that's good to know. I would have assumed that was just footage that came out of like marketing materials for this upcoming event. So
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
not that that footage looked fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like a video game.
Yes.
It didn't look mind blowing. So I do wonder like what are they going to do to just like wow people with these games?
That's like you say that and you're like, oh, I look fine, whatever. But like I'm wondering
Like,
if we're gonna look at this stuff and just go like, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you know, we've seen games running on powerful PC hardware, you know, like whatever, like. Will it be like, well, here it is running at 8K or, you know, something like that?
Right.
And will that make a difference?
Yeah.
Not in a video that is spreading on streamable.
Yeah, I mean, you could do stuff like they did with that Spider-Man demo, where it's like, hey, we zipped through the entire city, and especially it's especially cool if like they have a Spider-Man sequel, and they're like, look, we're going through this whole city, and it's like we're not hitting any loading time.
This thing still works.
Here's Spider-Man in an F-16 flying through the city at Mach 3.
Yeah,
couldn't do that before. All right. Emails. Podcast@giantbomb.com.
I would like it if you could fly an F-16 in the next Spider-Man game.
Yeah,
It'd be real dumb.
Swinging's so fun though.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but what if Spider-Man was piloting a fighter jet?
Anyone can pilot a fighter. That's not appealing to me. It'd be appealing to me if somebody else was piloting it, like Wolverine,
you
or
were swinging
Spider-Man's
under.
he's like hanging from it and like shooting, like a rocket comes out and he attaches like a web thing to it and then like flings it around.
All right, now
for some
imagine it's
reason.
the opening of the game and you see an F-16 flying over the city and the camera pans up past the jet, and as it pivots around, you see it's Spider-Man and he's wearing a helmet. And then he turns to the camera and gives a thumbs up, and it freezes like a little camera took a picture, and then it pulls out and it's the Daily Bugle, and there's Spider-Man giving a thumbs up, and it says, Rogue Spider-Man steals fighter jet, and then it pulls back
Blast
again.
City with chemtrails.
And yes, and J. Jonah Jameson is there, reading the newspaper, going, this guy's a damn menace.
That'd be all right.
Now how much would you pay?
That'd be all
Okay.
right. J. Jonah Jameson, great guy. I love that they brought.
Yeah,
J.K. Simmons back.
his podcaster.
No, I was saying
persona.
I love that they brought J.K. Simmons back.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're
Right,
like,
yeah.
fucking, we
Like,
nailed it the
he's
first
the guy.
time. We are not going to
That's
do it
the
again.
All right, here's some emails. I'm at 29% battery. Let's see how far we can get.
Oh, fuck.
I'm led to believe that you guys talked about lasers last week,
Seems like something we would
Talked
have done.
about lasers for a couple weeks in a row.
based on some of the emails that came in.
Laser chat.
Here's one from Taylor. I also worked with high-powered lasers.
Laser gang.
These are my favorite facts.
Laser game.
The thing the person said last week didn't mention, or I'm sorry. The thing the person last week didn't mention is that when you get laser damage to your eye, unless it's completely catastrophic, you don't really notice anything other than your vision getting a little bit worse because our visual system is so good at adapting. An exception to this is the eyeball boiling thing, where the immediate sign is that you hear a popping noise from inside your head due to the water in your eyeball boiling into steam.
It seems bad.
Yeah. He goes on. I used to work on an experiment that involved a very high-powered pulsed laser, and at the end of the line, all that power has to be absorbed somewhere. In this case, they used a specially shaped chunk of copper, of which a little bit would get vaporized with every pulse of the laser, making a noise that was loud as shit and very good at reminding you to keep your eyes above the level of the laser. Lastly, tattoo removal uses pulsed lasers that deliver so much energy to pigment particles in the skin in such a short period of time that they basically explode and shatter into tiny pieces, which are then further broken down by the immune system.
That shit hurts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You've done it?
Yes.
Ooh. Did it work?
Yes.
100%?
Yes.
No more visible tattoo.
Well, like my torso is already like kind of lighter than the rest of my body. I have a terrible farmer's tan.
Okay.
That it just looks like, oh, Jan just has a weird tan mark there.
Okay. Interesting. Huh. Happy with the results, though?
Fairly, yeah.
More or less?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. There are your laser facts.
Laser fact.
Eric from Cleveland.
We need more. Got to get them laser noises.
we
Yeah,
need
we
some-
need
we need
some.
Gotta get some.
Got to work on that.
Some zapping sounds of some kind.
Yeah.
Eric from Cleveland. The laser gun in Contra sucks. I do not enjoy it, and it sucks.
It sucks. It's garbage.
Are there any effective, fun laser guns in video games? Man, as a kid, the laser in Contra was my favorite gun.
Spartan laser.
Because if you just shot it really fast, it was just like having a constant like laser sword in front of you as you ran around everywhere. Like, yes, later in life, I recognized the superiority of the spread.
Sure. I mean, I'll even take the flamethrower.
But laser gun's the worst gun in that game.
I liked the laser as a kid, but
lasers are really good in like R-type games. I like a laser there in a space shooter.
okay, all right.
Yeah, bring it back to Halo. The Spartan laser in 3 got really good
cool.
at that in multiplayer. It's real fun. Ben, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I do want to play some multiplayer Halo at some point. They have that in the Master Chief Collection, right? You can play multiplayer.
I assume it works now.
Oh, right.
It's been long enough.
That was that whole...
I would like to think it's basically functional. Email from Daniel. I've played through Mario 3 countless times, and while watching the game's done quick race, there was mention of a, quote, coin ship that I'd never heard of.
Yeah, the coin ship.
What?
It turns out, if you're on World 1, 3, 5, or 6, and there's a Hammer Brother on the map, and you finish a level with a total number of coins that's a multiple of 11, and have the second to last digit of your score match the number in your coin total, then a Hammer Brother will turn into an airship auto-scroller filled with coins and a star at the end. What the fuck? This sounds like something you'd read for April Fools, and I've literally never heard of it. Where were you when you found this out?
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like reading the emails for this week.
No, I am aware of the coin ship. I don't think I've ever seen one.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's I assume some speedrun relies on that
Oh, I wonder.
in some way.
Yeah.
Probably.
I would think fighting a Hammer Brother would be faster, but
Who knows? Apparently that's legitimate though.
the coin ship is real. That much I know.
There's new shit in Mario 3. I learned new shit in Mario World. My whole life is shattering.
Yeah.
Luigi jumps higher,
What?
but skids longer.
It's nonsense.
Well, he's taller. So it makes sense he's going to have longer skids.
That jump pad is insane. All right, here. I might as well.
That was watching you play Lost Levels was really fun.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to that at some point.
Yeah.
Check it out on our website if you
Potentially
haven't.
on a different controllers and platform. We'll see.
Using a damn PS4 controller on a Switch game,
I think the controller's
emulating
fine.
a NES game. Heresy.
I think perhaps we should play it on a PC next time.
Maybe, yeah.
Cut down on the latency a little bit.
Or hook it up direct to TV and see if we...
Yes. I whatever. I'm not trying to sound defensive, but I went and played a little bit of that game on the actual Switch handheld.
Yeah.
After we finished that stream and like you talked about it at the end of the stream.
Yeah.
The difference in responsiveness was profound.
There was something going on.
So
as soon as I picked up that controller, it did not feel good.
So we're gonna look into that.
We'll just point a camera over your shoulder at the Switch.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I had a CRT that we have an NES hooked up to.
Someone just left a CRT by the desks. So
Whoa,
we'll just grab one of those.
Okay.
It's not... Peter asked if he could store
Oh yeah, that
PVM
might,
over
that
there.
might be Peter's.
Yeah.
That's probably Peter's.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can take it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right. Well, now I have to go ahead and read this email. Alex from New York City. Love what you guys do, but there's something I feel needs to be said. After Brad's Mario 2 segment this past week, I have officially reached my limit on listening to you guys whine about D-pads. I say this as someone who finished all the retro Mario games on Switch Online and found the Pro Controller D-pad to suit my needs perfectly.
Yep.
It's easy to judge cardinal directions, responsive and comfortable. Couldn't ask for anything more. Don't get me wrong, I have my issues with the Pro Controller, foremost being lack of analog triggers, but I wanted to write in to ask you to articulate once and for all what the hell it is you look for in a D-pad, and why the DualShock seems to be the only controller that can ever hope to deliver it. That is a massive exaggeration. Love what you do, but someone had to say this.
I also want to hear
hearing your thoughts.
Because I'm quiet on it, but I don't like
my
the
specific issue is in this case is I don't like the feel of the Pro Controller.
Yeah,
the D-pad. Well,
the D-pad is
Mario
mushy.
is probably not as much of an issue as it would be for something
yeah.
like Tetris or something, but it has a tendency to push diagonals.
Yeah, like you can. I mean, the Switch has that entrance. Weird that they put this in there. There's a system utility in the Switch that just lets you test all the buttons, which was amazing to have when I was taking my Joy-Cons apart and putting them back together. But you can go in there and it'll visually show you all the stuff you're hitting on the controller. You can rock the Pro Controller D-pad left and right, back and forth, and watch a bunch of up and down inputs register in that sequence.
Okay.
It's just, and that's like a very widely recognized issue with that D-pad. It's on top of that, it's a little mushy for my taste. I feel like historically Nintendo has had the best D-pads, probably.
Probably up to a point.
Up to the GameCube.
I think they did until they didn't, and then they never
maybe
had
so.
it again.
Okay, but
check this out. I use the analog stick for all my Mario.
I can't even. Not even. No.
I'm a top 500 world record speedrun holder of Super Mario World, and I use an analog stick like an animal.
You're a criminal.
Because it doesn't matter what you're holding in your hands, matter what you're holding in your heart.
I don't know where he got this thing about like we only want to play on the DualShock. That's insane. Like I think the D-pad on the Xbox One controller is perfectly fine.
If I'm talking like current generation preference right now, that Xbox Elite controller is probably
I could go
the D-pad of choice.
I could go back and forth between those two just fine.
I can't stand not disjointed. I can't stand a D-pad that is not one
segmented. Like,
pad.
yeah, the DualShock 4 D-pad. I don't know that I love it. Like I think it works.
It's
well.
fine.
Yeah.
But it is one piece of plastic underneath the controller housing.
But still, there's something about how like I don't know. I like to run my finger like from left to right, and the way it like kind of dips there in the middle because it's just. But I mean, the analog stick, you have precision control. You can go from left to right so much easier if you're just using these micro movements.
No.
Yes.
You know what?
I'll race any of you in any Mario game right now. Let's go.
I have to agree with him. No. There's a lot of good D-pads out there. Pro controllers is not one of them. Yeah. Jack from Baltimore. What's more true? Your first Mario Kart is the best, or your first Elder Scrolls is the best? Personally, it's hard for me to play anything but Oblivion, but a Mario Kart is a Mario Kart as far as I'm concerned. I go completely the opposite direction.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Like, I think Oblivion... Well, I tried to play Morrowind back in the day, but my PC couldn't run it, but Oblivion was the first one I really actually played, but I'd take Skyrim over Oblivion any day.
Yeah, I mean...
I think I probably would too, I guess. Yeah.
Whereas the first Mario Kart is the best Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I'm not an Elder Scrolls guy, so I can't speak to those, but like Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo is probably bottom half Mario Kart. Mario Kart DS is the best.
Top tier.
Definitely. Yeah.
People love DS.
DS is probably my second favorite.
I like Double Dash, but that's not like a hugely held opinion. I'm kind of all over the place on Mario Karts. I feel like the one I've been hearing more lately is like Souls. Like the first Souls you really get into is your favorite.
Huh. I guess so. Dark Souls is the first one I played, and I still probably like that one the best.
That's big on Demon Souls.
So I could see that. All right, let's just get all the Nintendo-oriented emails out of the way right now.
Wahoo!
Corey from Ohio. Last week, you all watched and discussed the Super Nintendo World video, and I have a pressing question. Park goers receive a wristband that tracks their coin totals as they walk around the park engaging in competition with other park goers. Does this sound familiar? Nintendo is just making real-life Mario Party. Does this make planning a trip more or less appealing to you? What is their real-life version of forcing someone to play a 50-turn match? I fear somewhere Dan Reichert is plotting something terrible.
I mean, if they put like a game board down in the theme park and had you go around in order, and then you had to ride the rides in a set order, and all the rides were bad games. That said, there are some Mario Party mini games that if you turned them into real life events would actually be way more fun.
Yeah, like the bumper ball,
the balls.
Yeah.
Specifically, some fucking American Gladiator shit.
Or even the like purely random ones where it's like, oh, you got to hit the Bowser head, and if its eyes roll onto bombs, you're gonna explode. Could be fun. Like if you made that, like,
or some of them turn into like carnival games or something, where it's like instead of like butt stomping a thing over and over again, it's like the shoot water into the clown's mouth and make the balloon inflate. Like they have that, don't they? I mean, they pretty much have that.
So by this logic, that means if I go, I need to like just kind of stand in random spots and just wait and hope like I find a star or 100 coins or something, or like reach into a garbage can and pull out 1,000 coins. You need to look for ghosts to steal coins from other people.
Yep. Definitely dig around in all the garbage cans.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I will be very disappointed if the garbage cans are not pipes. And,
but you jump in pipes.
Yeah. I fell into another deep Disney hole, and there is a subset of people obsessed with the trash cans in Disneyland.
What's the name of the talking trash can?
Oh, I don't know.
Garbo, there's a talking trash can in Disneyland that people love, and like he is like thank you when you throw garbage in his mouth or something. Brad, help me out here. Look up Garbo.
Garbo?
No, the talking
Greta Garbo?
Disneyland trash can man. He's real. Now I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Do you just want the Nintendo garbage cans to be pipes because you just want another excuse to get into a garbage can?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This time not falling into it.
Not falling into it. Like purposely jumping into
Push
the talking trash can?
Talking trash can.
At Disneyland?
Everyone's best friend at Disneyland.
Huh. Okay.
Thank God I'm not losing my mind yet.
I'm going to go find it.
Please. Next time you're there, give him some trash for me.
Does it move around? So if I was doing that, it would be a different trash can in the park every day. They would all be capable of. They would all have the speakers or whatever.
Yeah.
Every day you got to go find
one.
You got to go find Push.
They all have different voices.
Yeah. No, it's the same voice. It's like the implication is that Push himself moves around.
Oh, that's fun.
So every day you don't know which trash can it is. And if you go to Disneyland and it's this specific trash can, that's a good luck day for you. Your Disney bounding will be well received.
Oh.
All right, next email.
You look just like Pinocchio. I mean, colors wise. I mean, you don't look like Pinocchio. You're not allowed to, I know. But the clothes you've worn
oh, I can tell.
Extremely evocative of a Pinocchio-like color scheme. Congratulations.
Brandon from Pensacola, Florida. Let's go back to a simpler time. What was your favorite Winamp skin? And did you prefer ICQ or AOL Instant Messenger?
Default fucking Winamp skin.
I tried a ton of skins over the years, and I think I pretty much always went back to the default.
I wanted the functional one.
I think I used like a Mac OS 10
especially
Aqua.
as the window, especially as you started using more playlist windows, started taking up more real estate.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I did actually. I used a Mac OS 10 Aqua skin on Winamp for a good long time. Nothing. Winamp was before your time.
It's a media player, right?
Sure.
You too?
Yeah.
Damn it.
I have no idea. AIM was cool.
AIM was cool.
I still have Winamp installed.
Wow.
I reinstalled it because
What's the newest version?
They've got a 5.8 fake beta out there. I don't know. They claim there's a team that bought the rights to Winamp that claims they're making a new Winamp.
I think Winamp has changed hands more than once.
Yeah.
Right?
But some beta leaked, so they said like, "Oh, we're going to put out a version of Winamp now." It's not this leaked beta.
Whatever happened to Justin Frankel? What's he up to?
I don't know.
Remember slaving over what your away message was going to be like? Because the game would change every once in a while. Like the meta would shift, but some people would throw song lyrics on there, and then like eventually you'd try and do something funny.
And then you could pick your like login info or sound that pop off. It's great.
They had like skins eventually, right?
I want to say
I remember like
for what?
For AIM.
Oh,
they had something that
I don't think they were ever officially supported. I think there were all kinds of weird third-party add-ons
that
you could
makes sense.
Cram in there.
Buddy.
I never had a bond.
Yeah,
I never had a buddy.
ICQ sucked. It always did. It's I used it, but
because everybody did. It wasn't great.
I feel like I was only using ICQ because we decided we'd had enough of AIM, but also I was still running AIM. There was like a handful of people that were ICQ people, but like I didn't talk to them very frequently. And then eventually when the server, like Trillion happened, and then you could just be logged into all services in one app, and that was great. Yeah. Trillion was really good. ADM on Mac was really good.
Yes. I still have that installed for all the good it does now.
I know, right? Yeah, like
I don't really do much with it. I have what appear to be ICQ logs on my machine from 20 years ago.
When I try to log into ICQ, it actually wants me to go to like the Russian website that currently owns it and enter a bunch of data that I'm not about to enter to like unblock the account or something. And it's okay.
How many digits in your number?
So I had a 5-digit number that I lost.
Wow. Man, I think mine was 8.
I think mine is 7.
Not sure. If anybody out there knows how to open and dump the text out of old ICQ logs, I would love to know.
I'm sure somebody does.
I want to know what's in those files.
I'm sure.
No, you don't.
I don't know. They're all from college, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Let's see. Terrell from Pennsylvania. With PlayStation pulling out of E3 yet again, and Google announcing that Stadia will have 120 new games on their service by the middle of the year, Do you think that Google will make a push to take floor space that Sony once occupied at E3? Last year, they understandably weren't there due to still being in development, but what about this year? It's not like they don't have the money, and they could certainly use the goodwill. If not Google, who else could you see taking PlayStation's floor space? I would assume whoever had it last year.
I would like, a lot of that stuff has changed so much, though. That
that's because they're overhauling the whole thing now.
Right.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
In the
Now
past,
it's all about FOMO.
Right.
like in the past, it was like whoever had the floor space had the right to turn it down
Yeah.
the subsequent year. But I don't. Yeah, maybe they're changing things so much this year.
I wonder. Yeah, but also. A lot of that floor space gets taken up by we need room to hold all these people. So there was just like way fewer things on the floor this year overall.
Yeah.
But so Stadia is a streaming service.
Yeah.
It's not something that's like easily demoed from a show floor, or you can, but like it's not like people don't walk away with it. Like maybe they will, but like you just, people shouldn't walk away from a show floor demo feeling like that's exactly how it's going to work in my home.
Yeah.
When it comes to a streaming service.
On top of that, presumably they won't have any new exclusive games to show. Like you would just be demoing a bunch of games that other people have on other platforms already.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
But I
just not
can
a
see them having some kind of floor presence, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, do they go big and have a bunch of kiosks? Like, no.
Yeah, probably not.
Do they have a handful of kiosks and like a stage? Like I can see them having a stage and doing interviews or doing demos or doing something like that. I wonder when they're going to have more to say about that service opening up to more people, or like what's the next information out of the Stadia team?
Is there a date on when the just kind of wide big launch is?
I don't know.
I know one date, which I set a reminder for on my phone.
Yeah.
Which is a giant reminder that says in all caps, cancel Stadia.
Oh,
because I used that like buddy code or whatever that you gave me.
yeah.
And I could not find a way to turn off auto renew.
Okay.
Like maybe it's in there,
Yeah.
but I really couldn't find it. And so I'm going to get billed for Stadia.
Yeah. Don't do
for,
that.
for Stadia Pro membership
Don't do that.
on like
Yeah.
March 17th or something like that.
Yeah,
So
don't
I made
do
sure to set a reminder.
Do not do that.
Yeah, definitely not. All right. Yair from Israel. Remember the game Wild?
No
No.
one does. It never happened.
That's the email.
Yeah.
That's the Michel Ancel Ubisoft game, right?
Was it? It was not Ubisoft though, right?
I'm pretty sure that is, right? I don't think he wasn't he making that for them?
I thought he was making that
Or is
separately
he making
from
that
them.
separately from them?
I could be
Oh,
wrong.
you're right. That's
Yeah.
a Sony game.
Yeah.
That got announced at a Sony, what was that, Gamescom?
Paris Games
Yes.
Week or something, wasn't it?
Gamescom.
Okay.
Gamescom 2014.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow.
What?
It was weird. It was some kind of
animals.
Let's see.
Okay.
Wild is set during the prehistoric Neolithic period in a procedurally generated world of seemingly infinite size. The player controls a human and can use smaller animals to spy on others or larger animals to support the player and their tribe in fights with other humans. I didn't know it was like a multiplayer thing.
Yeah, he's saying humans. You were saying animals.
Humans are the ultimate animal.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Wild.
Well, that's something that maybe you see it come back
February
as a PS5 thing, right?
Yeah. Maybe. Let's see. Trevor in Edmonton, Alberta. That's in Canada. That's the home of BioWare.
Oh.
I've heard it's very cold there.
They have a mall.
And in fact,
Mm-hmm.
the email is about cold. This morning, it was minus 36 degrees Fahrenheit before the wind chill.
Okay.
A lot of things slow down here, but a lot of people are still doing normal things their normal ways. I work in construction, and the sites are still working. What does it take weather-wise to make San Francisco an untravelable disaster?
Rain.
Slight rain. A bit of drizzle.
Light drizzle.
Temperature below 60 or above 70 degrees.
I mean, it does take rain, but it takes a pretty hard rain. to really. But
either like the first rain and everyone is spending the day remembering, like, oh God, or
Today was like
well,
the first rain in a couple of weeks, and it sucked.
to be fair, wait,
no, we had
No, I mean
really,
driving in this morning, like literally,
it didn't rain down here.
I got soaked on my way to BART. I had to sit on a BART car dripping wet for an hour last week as I was sick.
Oh, was that that crazy night?
Yeah,
Oh,
that it like
dude,
stormed
I
really
got
bad.
hailed on.
Yeah, it was. There was hail coming in horizontally into an open BART car door.
Whatever was
cool.
that Thursday?
Yeah, it was
I think that was Thursday. I walked
Yeah.
out the door.
Yeah.
It had been dry all afternoon. It was pouring all morning. It was dry all afternoon. I walked out the door. Literally started sprinkling as I exited the building.
Yeah.
By 2 blocks away, I was drenched and it was fucking hailing.
Yeah.
Two blocks?
It was insane.
And then by the time I got another 2 blocks, it had literally stopped precipitating.
Yeah.
Fuck the weather around here.
My wife went out for a walk a week ago or something like that. And she said, I'm hiding under a tree. It's pouring rain. She went for a walk. She had been gone maybe 20 minutes. I looked out my window, not raining at all.
Whoa.
And I'm just like, where are you? What happened? Have you been taken?
To be fair, he stipulated untravelable. Like I can't think of I can't think of a storm I've seen here where the city like completely shuts down.
The city, no, not so much. But like getting here, certainly like those
Yeah.
roads, the freeway floods very easily in some spots.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't take too much like concerted hard rain in that area.
Yeah, especially I mean I guess because we're like right around sea level, right? It's more of a problem, I would assume.
I think if it like legitimately snowed here, there would be riots.
Yeah, I would. Man, it almost feels shitty to say this because people would probably get hurt because the city is so ill-equipped to deal with it. But,
Yeah.
like what I was going to say was like I've always just like been fascinated with the idea of seeing
What if it snowed in San Francisco?
seeing like but I mean more than just snowed. Like if it was like fucking 2 or 3 feet dumped on this city, that would be so cool.
Like would the Golden Gate Bridge collapse?
Oh man, I don't know.
No,
Probably
right?
not.
It's
I don't
built
know
to survive
how heavy is
earthquakes,
snow?
right?
I don't know.
Like,
But like especially with like some of the hills and stuff, like people wouldn't be able to leave their houses.
yeah. Yeah.
It would be a mess.
The Division
BART?
3.
Yeah. Yep.
What happens to BART?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You thought the BART train delays were bad in perfect weather.
Which they are.
Wait until it snows in San Francisco.
Let's see.
I literally every other day, 1 out of 4 rides, we get stopped for 15 to 20 minutes for police activity. It's insane.
Then stop doing it, Ben.
I love crime.
We got an email about the ESA's data breach of press members' personal information
Yeah.
last year. This person asked to be anonymous. I am a mid-tier content creator making Nintendo-related videos for YouTube. It's more a hobby than trying to pursue an actual career, but still fun nonetheless with a small community behind me. This past E3 was my first time going to the event, and I could not have been more excited. That is until August, when the news began spreading about the list of media contacts so easily accessed through the ESA's website via a simple link on their helpful links page.
Well, it's still up.
A friend I attended the event with messaged me that morning and told me that my full name, home address, and personal cell phone number all appeared on that list. At the time of registration, it was noted that the info would be made available to vendors and companies for the obvious contact reasons, so I felt they would need a legit way to contact me if they needed to. Fast forward a few hours, and I've had to run out and buy a prepaid phone to let my family know what has happened, since I couldn't keep my phone on longer than 2 minutes without receiving 100+ phone calls and thousands of text messages.
Jeez.
Messages ranged from, I'm a subscriber and I love you, to I'm a subscriber, but you need to do more videos or I am unsubscribing.
Cool. Very cool.
All the way to hope you live alone or everyone gets it.
Extremely cool.
Needless to say, I have a new number now. That last message really got to me. I don't live alone. I'm married and we have a family. They are now all at risk because of the ESA. We just moved into this home roughly a year ago, and it was supposed to have been our forever home. Thanks to the ESA, that's no longer true, and we've since had to move for obvious reasons. So.
Yeah. Like
And you want to just read the email address of who sent that in?
Yeah. That's
And that's somebody who describes himself as doing this as a hobby,
right.
not
right.
as
Yeah,
a hugely
and
prominent
like that.
professional situation.
Those are costs that the ESA should have to cover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes.
this person had to
100%.
move.
Yeah.
This person had to change, like there's costs associated with that. Like that's
and again by their own description, not an enormously prominent personality.
Right.
So like think about what people who have already like drawn the ire of shitty parts of the internet have had to deal with.
Yeah,
and they barely even addressed it.
Yeah.
I think they put out like a paragraph long statement.
I think, if you are another content creator out there worried about similar stuff, Danny O'Dwyer had a great tip around when this broke, which was sign up for Google Voice, get a Google Voice number. There are ways around it. It's a pain. Excuse me. It's a pain, but might be worth it in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A mail drop, PO box, like that sort of stuff.
It sucks. You shouldn't have to do it.
No.
All right, James from Austin, Texas. I recently got into a big debate with a few friends over who Pokemon is made for. They claim that with all of the new features aimed at helping build a competitive scene, the games are now more aimed at adults. I stand by the fact that the games always have been and always will be aimed at children first. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, it's for kids.
Nonsense. Nonsense.
It's for kids, but they have acknowledged that there is a passionate, more adult fan base that they can appease.
An all ages appropriate
I think you're underselling kids' ability to get way into a competitive multiplayer.
Yeah, that too.
Game
100%. Every game is going to be some kid's first competitive game.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Regionals were just this past weekend. People from all different age ranges competing. It's fucking wild.
It's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a couple more. Dylan from Columbus. Giant Bomb has just teamed up with Denny's for a new promotional menu. What are the featured items?
Stay tuned.
I decline to comment at this moment.
You guys have some ideas?
Oh, yeah.
I tried to...
Okay, but no, Giant Bomb themed.
I gave myself 30 seconds to try to come up with menu items. I came up with the nacho deer.
Oh,
that's good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
But then I thought more Denny's diner kind of style. And then
Moon's over my Vinny.
Okay, that's not bad. How about Ben Pack's tall stack?
All right.
I mean, the one I was going to say is just called a whole fucking lot of pancakes.
That works too.
And you
That's
get
the
it.
Jeff Gerstmann special.
And it's a whole lot of fucking pancakes.
It comes with a side of mozzarella sticks.
Sure. That's not average. It's still called a whole lot of fucking pancakes.
You see you see a picture on the menu, and it's just a bunch of pancakes. But
by the way, comes with a half
you
order
can
of
kind of
mozzarella
see
sticks.
a stick poking out in the background. Jan and I had the idea of going to a Denny's and ordering a grand slam. So you can build your own slam, which is it'll come with a couple things, and then you can pick and choose from a large menu. We wanted to know. We didn't discuss this part exactly, but we wanted to know how much it cost, and I wanted to know what the calorie count, all the nutritional count would be for getting one of everything. Because you can go more than 4 if you're willing to pay a little extra. And there are premium tier items.
Mm-hmm. The ultimate slam at that point.
Slam. The forbidden slam.
Yeah. The lambada of slams.
I kind of want pancakes now.
Yeah. They're good. They're pancakes.
Yeah.
There's a Denny's nearby.
Country fried jam. I'm going back on the
That's
Giant
just
Bomb.
that's just every time they ask for toast. Would you like jam with that? And it's just a small picture of me burned into the toast.
Trying to think of we got to come up with some more tie-ins. I don't know. Abby Russet potatoes. I'm just trying to think of everybody's
Baked
names.
Abby Russet potatoes.
And what kind of food you could turn it into.
Rye bread.
There you go. Great. All right.
I love going to Denny's and getting a nice rye.
Start printing up these menus. Okay. Last email. I was listening to a recent Bombcast where someone mentioned our local Hollywood Video and how it was converted into a Hollywood liquor.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you'd also like to know that our Blockbuster is now known as Buster's Liquor.
Great. Oh.
So good. The previous mailer's assertion that the rental industry was destined to drown in sweet, sweet party juice seems to be correct, at least in our town. Also, he included before and after pictures of the Blockbuster and the Buster's Liquor. Sadly, in this case, unlike the Hollywood Liquor, they did not reuse the Blockbuster sign.
Man. I bet the Blockbuster people took the sign with them.
However,
it does still have the ticket-shaped thing on the front, doesn't it?
Does it? The Blockbuster logo?
Yeah.
No,
the logo's gone.
It's a full-on. It's a full-on new sign. However, they do have a light-up sign underneath Buster's Liquor that says "is here." Buster's Liquor is here. Finally.
Buster's Liquor seems like a place that would definitely have the Four Loko seltzer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your salvation is at
Their
hand.
website is broken. You're supposed to punch in an address and it'll tell you what Four Loko flavors are available in your area, but I can't get it to work.
That was like me trying to get to the bottom of if the Sonic mini tacos are coming to California, because the last time they did the mini taco deal, it didn't.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like Jack in the Box is not a nationwide
No.
chain, so
It's like
California is where
Arizona,
they-
New Mexico, Washington.
Why would you want tiny tacos?
I will say that I opened up
tacos.
a food delivery app after receiving your tweet and did not see the tiny tacos on the menu of my local Jack in the Box.
How many tiny tacos do you get in
15.
Wow.
But you can also get them fully
bucket.
loaded.
Huh.
Shit.
Which appears to mean that they have lettuce in the tacos, but then also they just dump cheese and taco sauce over the tacos. They don't put them in there.
Like Sonic likes it.
Yeah.
I saw a billboard for the Sonic movie on the drive-in this morning, and the tagline, I don't know if this is the official movie tagline or just this poster, but it said chillin' versus villain, and it had Sonic on one side and Jim Carrey on the other.
All right, we need to get some paint. We need to get out there. We're going to change it. It's going to say Krillin versus Villain, and then we're going to modify Sonic.
I'm on it.
Great.
Shit, I just realized that movie's out in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Valentine's Day.
Oh, man.
I'll have a report on
Spoiler
it. I'm
cast
seeing it Valentine's
incoming.
Day.
The road report. Man. Highly romantic. All right, that's going to do it for the show this week.
right.
Let's get out of here and do some other stuff. You got
Yeah.
after show?
We're going to do it tomorrow.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. We talked about that.
We did it Wednesday last
Yes.
week and it was fun. It had
Yeah.
a different feel. So we're gonna
completely-
try that
We're
again.
gonna- we're gonna play around with it.
Play around, move it around a little bit.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll tweet about it when
After
we
show,
know
getting
that
its-
it's coming to a different spot or whatever.
Own time slot.
Yeah.
For this
and we
week.
might just move it back. Yeah. I don't know. We're going to fuck
So-
around and see.
We'll
But-
see, we like live callers. We like people calling in. If you've never listened, check it out. We try and filter it down so that it's fun.
We like to have a good time.
We like to have a good time. We
Yeah.
don't take it too seriously.
I take my good times very seriously.
Okay, well, I take mine not seriously at all, so that averages out
Yeah.
to not very seriously.
Exactly.
All right, fair.
Chilling like a villain right there.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the worst of both worlds.
All right, we have to go. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Put Cupid in Smash.